38 million people. So many African countries are not even up. You understand? So
You know, Kifaru, Kala Genesis is putting it well on the chat.
Yeah,
He's saying South
Carla's speaking
Africa
facts right now.
was
yeah, he says South Africa is a first world country with the black third world population. That's a fact, you know. It's
yeah.
crazy, but yeah.
Yo, Color Genesis hit the link, man. A
What
long
did you
time. Right?
say?
Yeah, but what's
I
the point
cannot
though?
really
For
have heard
me,
that much.
Yeah, he basically says
Nigeria,
that South Africa is a first world country with a third world black population. You know what? Yeah, I remember growing up in Kenya when I was like in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I kept hearing like South Africa is the 18th richest country in the world, and I was like,
yeah,
yo, so yeah, that's
Who's
crazy. So what happened?
benefiting? Like back in the days, who was
bro.
benefiting from that? Only
You know what's
10%
crazy?
of the population. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, for sure.
the other thing is in South Africa, you could be driving in like in Sandton. If you're driving in Sandton, you will think you are in Australia. But the next thing, when you move from Sandton, you might be in the neighborhood that you like. Shit, man, where I am. So it's a mix of third world and probably the developed
Also,
side.
Lozy, I have a question for you, Lozy. I was watching like a little documentary the other day about what's going on in Zimbabwe and like the lands that have been taken from the Boers that are given to the farmers, like the black indigenous farmers. Like I've noticed like a lot of the people that the lands are given to farm, they don't really know what they're doing, and it's kind of it's hurt the country, bro. Now, do you know about what's
You
happening
know,
in that situation?
to
Yeah,
be honest, bro, the situation of Zimbabwe is sad, and I think Zimbabwe is in
it's
worse
sad, bro. I
condition
swear,
today than if they didn't chase the whites. You know what?
for
Them chasing
sure,
the
man.
white people, they actually lose more resources. You see, when a
Yeah.
country like Zimbabwe is under sanction, that's where the West is even stealing the resources most because they don't even need to report the resources now when they steal them. They
Mm-hmm.
just ship them
Exactly.
out of the country. So,
Exactly.
Exactly.
and even the farms, I still think the white people are still in Zimbabwe by numbers, and they probably still farming. And but then the
Mm,
narrative will never change. They will always say the Zimbabweans have chased the white people. They deserve to be under sanctions. I think the Zimbabweans are pushed at the corner, man, and we need
yeah.
to probably do something
I
to
like I
about.
Let me
like I
give you
like
Kefari. Let
I
me say
like
one statistic.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, let me say one
Mhm.
statistic quickly. Yeah, the statistic is before when the Boers used to own the farms, there was about 6,000 farmers in the country. Right now, there is up to 300,000 people with plots of land that are farming. So that's very bad. It
Yeah,
went from
I
6,000 people
think
to
yeah, I think
300,000. Yeah,
yeah, something that happened in most southern African countries. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to blame them. The white people, the Boers, control the agriculture, and these people depend so much on that. You understand? So these people mostly produce crops that were being shipped into Europe, and that was needed in the bigger market. They didn't really care so much about what the people consume. And so now when you see the agriculture is struggling because maybe they have infrastructure, but those infrastructures were not actually meant for their own local consumption. That's what I'm trying to see. Like I'm from like Central West Africa, when I see people on the queue complaining that there's no bread, I swear to God, like from where I come, Cameroon, that would never happen. You know why? It's because people make a lot of local bread by themselves. It might be puff
Kifaru,
puff. There's always
Kifaru,
a substitution. But when I say
Kifaru,
bread, how how do you complain that there's no bread? Can
Kifaru,
you
can I
make
just
bread
correct
yourself? Yeah.
Kifaru, can I just connect Janet on the chat section because people come here with their own narratives and they distort reality. Zimbabwe is not producing many food, man. What
she's
we
an
see
FPA.
with
She's
Zimbabwe
been
is that
lying all the day in chat. She's
yeah,
an FPA,
and
bro.
the people of Zimbabwe are suffering and they're running to South Africa in millions. If they were
Yeah,
producing more
but
food,
check this out, Lozi. I seen
no,
a
allow me,
video where
Kala, Kala,
you
allow
have
me to finish, please.
Zimbabweans making
Kala,
millions of dollars even under sanctions selling
Kala,
vagina.
Kala,
Circus.
allow me to finish, please. You will speak.
Okay, sorry, Kezo,
I'm
who's singing? Kezo, someone is singing.
trying to make a point.
I
I'm
think it's
trying to
Carla.
make a point. What I'm saying is that let's go with what is happening on the ground. Zimbabwe, when it was Rhodesia or earlier on when it was run by Mugabe before they chased the whites, Zimbabweans were not that many in South Africa. Today there are in millions, Carla. If Zimbabweans were producing as many food as people claim here, they wouldn't be trying to squeeze themselves in South Africa because most
Exactly.
of them are not
That's a
even
good point.
I
safe.
think
Let's be
think it's
honest
the
with you.
sanctions, bro. I think it's the
Yes,
sanctions.
you can say it's the sanctions, but that's the reality. The reality is they're not producing much food because of the same sanctions. It's not that
All right, I
Zimbabweans are
get
not.
that.
I blame
Yeah.
Mugabe. There's no one else to blame but him. He was causing
No,
all the
why would you
riots
blame
in the
Mugabe?
beginning. I'll
Why would you
blame
blame
Mugabe.
Mugabe?
Okay,
Hold,
okay,
hold,
you
hold.
know,
Let's go
okay,
back.
okay. Can I say why? Can I say why I blame him though? Can I just say that, and
What?
you can rebuttal it
Well,
after.
whose land was it in originally? You
Okay,
know,
okay. No, I fully understand that. I fully understand that. Yeah, but Mugabe, you do know when he got into power, he was in bed with them. They used to, they were friends.
of course.
He was a friend with the West. Until um, something went wrong. You know what I mean? And he started.
No,
He
his soldiers said, "Look, if you're not going to take the land back, we're going to take it." Then he just rolled along with the way because he wanted to stay in power. Now he could have stayed with the whites, and said, "Look, we're not going to do this." Like his soldiers were like, "Oh, we'll topple you, and we don't get our land back."
Listen, him wanting, but Carl, I don't really think him wanting to stay in power and doing
I
that
agree.
has
I agree.
destroyed the country a bit because right now it's
No, guys, you are misrepresenting Mugabe. Mugabe didn't want that. The only thing I blame Mugabe on is the fact that he waged a war against a strong enemy with no plan.
yeah.
He went against the West without option B. You are stupid. You are stupid if you are a leader who's gonna wage a war and commit suicide on your own people. He knew that there was no way out. The West is too strong at that time. The West was very, very strong at that time. Why did he wage that war? Because there's no way out. Now he sacrificed the people of Zimbabwe. What was the end goal? What did they benefit from all that? He needed to be more strategic about his going. And he knew that the whole Africa won't back him up. Why did he choose the road that he chose there? That's not smart. Because the people of
I feel
Zimbabwe are
like it was a
suffering.
power move. Lozi, do you think it was a power move? Because I believe it was a power move for him
How
to get,
was it? How was it a power move? How was it a power move? Have you seen the life of an average Zimbabwean today? I can tell you that
exactly.
if it
But
wasn't
he
for South
fooled them.
Africa,
Don't you
right
think
now,
he
we will
fooled them?
be
He said
in
he said to
more
them, "I'm
than
going
a
to give
days
you your
now.
land back." Lozi, don't you think he kind of fooled them? He said, "I'm going to give you your land back," and they all wanted to keep him in power because of that. You know what I mean? So
All I'm saying is, as a leader, when you wage a war, calculate your moves. Know that it's a war that you won't commit suicide on your own people. Always
exactly,
protect
yeah,
your
that's
own
what I'm
people.
saying.
He
Yeah.
went against the West. The West, yes. What was the repercussions of his actions? The country
hmm
is in chaos today, total chaos.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had no plan B. He had no plan
Yeah.
B. It's obvious he had no plan B. Right? You can only make those moves if you align yourself with other powerful enemies of the West. Maybe you might create a new trading bloc. He did that with no option at all. Africa was not going to back up Mugabe because Africa is still begging to the West. Why did he make that move?
Yeah, Logsy, saying that Zimbabwe is doing bad, but I was so
Hello,
surprised when I look at the
everybody. Welcome back to
statistics.
Trending.
I noticed that Zimbabwe is still among
Going on
most
to
African countries
Hello,
that live well.
everybody. Welcome back to Trending
In the
Global.
SADC, if you
So we're
compare
going to
them with
talk
the
about
SADC countries,
food
but if you
security in
compare them with
Africa.
the rest of
As
the
you all know,
continent, of
that
course,
the war
on average,
between
they're still doing
Russia
well.
and Ukraine have really made the cost of wheat flour to be very high because Ukraine is the biggest supplier of wheat across the globe. But Zimbabwe sat down and like we have nice soil, favorable climates to grow wheat. So they grew it. And as we speak right now, there is a lot of wheat harvesting in Zimbabwe. And that is a very brave move. It's an amazing way that Africa should actually feed itself. We shouldn't be depending
Wow.
on donations.
Big up.
Like it's so
Respect
sad
to
that my beloved
Zimbabwe,
Kenya,
man.
people are dying in Northeastern and Masailand because of lack of food, lack of water. And yet the same country in the same continent, Zimbabwe, just took a step in one season and they're feeding the world with their wheat because they have taken the space of Ukraine.
Now, the global shortages caused by the war in Ukraine have pushed some countries to focus on producing more of their own food. As a result, Zimbabwe is on course for its largest ever wheat harvest. At 380,000 tons, the expected produce will be more than the country needs to consume for the year, meaning the surplus can be used to build excess reserves. Here's DW's Privilege Mushanyuri.
Wow,
A busy time
we
at
are all
Good Grass,
wrong,
a large
Logsy.
commercial farm east of Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. Like many other farms across the country, wheat harvesting is in progress. Farmer Claudio Nyakonda is expecting more than 1,000 tons of wheat.
Respect. I'm
His best
happy now,
harvest
man.
since he
I'm
started
happy
planting
for
the
those
crop.
people.
I'm happy that we have managed to produce a good yield.
And I told, and I
with
isn't
which we
this
have
what I was
put
telling
under
you?
wheat.
People need to understand something. Just because the West
So the West doesn't want you to see
Wow,
this stuff.
Lozzy, it means we're all wrong. That do
We were all wrong. All of us were wrong. Even
No,
me. Right now, I was wrong. I was wrong. But
guys.
this changed now. This is a recent
The
update.
expansion is
Yeah.
let's not start the kumbaya pan-African things here.
Okay,
What I'm
okay.
trying to tell you,
I
listen to what I'm telling you. I live in the south. I live in the south. I engage with Zimbabweans every day. I'm sure you guys go for money.
Yeah, but that doesn't represent what's going on in Zimbabwe.
Kala, I know you, Kala, you are a very rational person, Kala. You are an intellect. You don't need to take this personal. What I'm telling you is that the country is not doing well. The evidence is the people who are jumping our borders every day. Let's not come here with the kumbaya approach, guys.
Oh, I agree. Let's say I agree, Lily. Let me say this. I agree with you. Zimbabwe is a freaking mess. It's a long way to go. They got sanctions, everything. But what I'm trying to say is this, though. You got to understand the reason why they had sanctions on Zimbabwe. It's to send a message to South Africa, right? And then maybe also, right? Oh, let me say it. Let me finish what I'm saying. Be complete, right? To send a message, right, to South Africa that Malema is a bunch of hot air. He's not going to do anything, you know? And they know that. You know, he could be just a distraction. You know, the bottom line is you ever try to basically do what Zimbabwe do with it. So therefore, if South Africa says, you know something, though we got sanctions, we lost everything, and there's some sort of hope in Zimbabwe, maybe we could try it ourselves. They don't want you thinking like that.
Allow me to respond to you,
Kala. Zimbabwe can actually provide.
Allow me to respond to Kala. Kala, what I'm telling you is that whatever the message they were trying to send to us, they are not succeeding. We are not stupid. We are not stupid like Zimbabweans to wage a war against the West while we are still trading under their system. What we are doing, we are aligning ourselves with other new global powers like the BRICS. Then under the new system that whether they sanction us or not,
you must appreciate that they can produce weed more than
No. But Kifari, Lowe's is saying a very good point, though.
Can I speak without you interrupting me? Wheat is not the economy. Producing one product doesn't mean you are running your economy. You need to manufacture a lot of things to have economy. What I'm trying to tell you, Kala, is this: we're not going to wake up and chase white people while we're still under their system. That's stupid.
I know you're suicidal. I'm dead set against that. You know, I'm like, whatever South Africa is, right? You better keep the whites there for the next at least 100 years. You know, get your black power, man, but don't play that game because if they do, you're finished. You know, trust me, I'm not stupid.
South Africa, right, man. Big ups to them.
Like I said, I give South Africa, black South Africa, credit a little bit. But the thing is, though, you got to give white South Africa credit, right? They built a country, right? And when you look at South Africa, it's in the middle of nowhere. You know, with the opening of the Suez Canal, the British and the Western countries didn't need the Cape of Good Hope anymore to go to the east. They could go right through the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. But the fact that South Africa still managed to industrialize and in the 70s, South Africa's rand was a world currency reserve, and it was equal to the dollar. So I'm saying to myself, this country in the middle of nowhere near Antarctica can do that, right? That's all. So you got to give the Afrikaners, the Boers, and some credit, right?
But Kala, you're missing one thing. There's never a point ever since the global trade took the ground where Cape Town, the Cape of Good Hope, was never important as a destination. If you look at the Suez Canal, it's not that safe. There's always the pirates there. There's always wars.
Oh, come on. 90% of the world's good flow through there. Nothing flows around the Cape of Good Hope, bro. You know, but South Africa...
No.
Come again, Kala, you are wrong. Kala,
Lowe's is right.
Kala, let me tell you this. Durban is the busiest hub in Africa. We have got about 3 busiest hubs in Africa at South Africa, in probably top 10 in Africa. And the other busiest hub is the hub of Morocco, Egypt, I believe Nigeria, Tanzania. Is it Tanzania? One of these. I know about 10 major countries.
Djibouti is why they go to the Red Sea. You know.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's
That's why they go to the Red Sea.
that's the
Most
shortcut to Europe.
goods flow through the Red
Yeah.
Sea. You know, twist it out. You know, and so South Africa to be the fact that South Africa made, let's be honest with you, made the sub continent relevant. Why? Because the port of Durban and Cape Town, the railway lines go into the interior. So everything you see in Zambia, whether it's a street light or equipment, most likely from the 60s, 70s, started through Durban. So South Africa wasn't just South Africa. It basically was the main port of the whole entire sub-region. You know, and even right now, South Africa goes through the continent through MTN, companies like ShopRite, MTN. So South Africa basically has Africa as its backyard. You know, that's as important. You know, and without Africa, without the rest of Africa, South Africa wouldn't be important at all because there's no other vital strategic trade route or anything like that in location. So the only thing it has is proximity to Black Africa through South Africa. If you want to get through sell something in Black Africa and that whole region, all the way up into the Congo, you open up a headquarters in South Africa. You know?
No, I agree, Carla. And yesterday or 2 days ago, I said this. Because we have got access to both Indian and Atlantic water, it does give us a certain advantage. And also, as you said, historically, the white settlers came here and they built the foundation, the infrastructure that we are still using even today. So it did put us in a very advantageous position. That's just a fact.
Yeah, just don't mess it up, man.
But also the next move we are making by changing the order, because the order now is not just, is not fair. You see Black South Africans aligning with other rising powerhouses for a better.
But I think let me ask you something, so Lozzie. I have some people ask me about BRICS. I get inbox, Colin, we think about BRICS. Now, what was pitched to me was we're going to have an alternative to the World Bank and IMF. I haven't heard anything about infrastructure and stuff like that. It's like trade between peer countries. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything infrastructure talk, you know?
But Carla, let's Carla,
I have not heard any infrastructure talk.
Carla, the problem is when you speak, you don't allow us to respond.
Okay.
Carla, you have got wisdom. I have listened to you speak before. You are a very intellectual person. You must be able to differentiate the YouTubers who are talking from opinions without being inside the BRICS, and you must also be able to detect when the members of BRICS or the people in the system of BRICS are speaking. The people in BRICS have never came out and made this many assumptions that people are running with. They are working on a plan. What I see with them doing is that they understand where they are. They coming from humble beginning. They haven't put up the infrastructure like the SWIFT and the IMF. We do have a BRICS bank that is existing, but it's a baby. You have to consider the time that the IMF and the SWIFT were built. These are going for a century in their existence now and globally dominating. We cannot expect BRICS, which is only 15 years old now or 13, to just wake up and resolve all the problems of humanity and come up with a new system. It's going to take some time. Maybe not even in our lifetime will we see the full potential of BRICS. But what I can tell you is that these nations are working on something. It's going to be very difficult. You can see.
I agree. I agree. Something has to give. You know? So I support that. But what I don't like is every time I look on the internet, right, Negroes, especially in America, I get this one lady, there's a viral video going around TikTok, kind of find this video where some Negro peeing lady, I don't know if she was South Africa, it's about Black America. Y'all need to start sending us their dollars so we can give you some brick currency.
There's no brick currency. That's what
you guys are telling some of the people because they're spreading all this nonsense around Black America. Y'all gonna be broke. Y'all better start cashing money for the brick currency. It's like the ignorance. You know, that's
I think people need to take their time and read more and understand where BRICS is going. You understand?
So what is currently happening now in some BRICS nations? I don't know. I don't see South Africa hasn't jumped on that bandwagon, but some BRICS countries. Allow me to speak color. Some BRICS countries are already trading. They are already trading in their local currencies. I think that's where they're going to start, and obviously that is going to impact the dollar in that sense. But the dollar won't be impacted by the BRICS currency because the BRICS currency doesn't exist. But slowly but surely, the dollar will be impacted by yuan as they start to trade with ruby or ruble from Russia with their own local currencies and no longer purchasing the dollar. I think South Africa
I
also
think that's a brilliant idea. I think that's
yeah,
a, if I can change my money to South African, what was it called?
it's rand. It's rand.
It's rand to buy something
Yeah.
from. I'll do it. You know, it's benefiting the African continent. If I can,
Yeah.
that's good. Then for me, taking my CFA, changing it to what euro to buy now. If I can do it to South Africa, it's good for the
But,
continent. It's good.
mm,
You know, so it's
but
a
you see,
good idea.
Kifaru, I don't know how they're gonna pull this out because they are still trading under the SWIFT, I believe, even when they use
Yes,
their own
yes.
local currencies. So the West is going to respond because as the dollar start to lose power, they're gonna do something. So the sooner the BRICS nations build their own global trading system, the better because we're still
Yeah.
depending on them. You get what I'm saying, Kifar? We can do
Yes,
all
yes,
this, but
yeah,
we're
it's
still
an
tied to their
establishment
system.
that is being so is so robust, and
Exactly.
yeah, I get that. Except we have to trade on some specific items among countries. So if South Africa is going to accept Chinese yen, Chinese should also accept South African rand, and
Yeah,
But
let's just see
don't
what's going to happen.
also don't you guys believe, yeah, with Africa we need to have a system where we trade, for example, I need something from you guys, so I trade, let's say, uranium for some other mineral, for resource for resource, for example, and so we can get shit done as well. That's another way that you can, like, it's basically a barter trade, isn't it? But you get
Yeah,
what's
but people think that is an ancient thing that has got so many flaws that cannot work now. I don't know. You
but you see,
understand?
Kifaru, China is gonna win in this because China is the largest manufacturer currently. So I believe this trade is set up like this. If I'm the one who's offering new products, you're gonna have to purchase it in my currency. You're gonna have to buy them using my currency. You get
That's
what I'm
good.
saying?
That's good.
Yes.
Uh,
So
and that's going to
most
make
people,
most Africans a currency valuable because we do sell. There's a lot
yeah,
of
yeah. So
demand from Africa.
yeah, but it's raw material for most part because that raw material China is gonna buy using our probably purchasing our small currencies, but they're gonna bring back their product with yuan and more expensive, the usual things. But and I've gonna look, as long as China is gonna challenge the West, I'm fine. But we must be reaching out to fully industrialize as well so that we can start to build
Yes.
product. We
Yeah,
can
I
start to
think
build product.
that's the only thing I like about BRIC because it's giving us a platform that we can be part of the decision making. It's just starting, not just be begging IMF and all these people like just listening to what they say. Or if you don't do this, if you don't accept the alternative life, we're not gonna give you money. You know, you can. I'm just happy that there's an alternative, and I just wish they don't sell out and they start putting so many other countries, then it just become IMF 2.0. You understand? So
Mm.
just
Yeah.
watching. It's a good move, and believe we are part of it. Ethiopia is now. Let's see. You know, I really
And
hope Nigeria should be part of it, but I don't know what's happening with them. But
yeah, but
it's
Kifaru, do you ever think these regions will integrate and like I believe the only way we're going to challenge these countries like China, USA is to integrate the regions. Like ECOWAS need to be not
yes,
doing what
yes,
they're
yes.
doing
I
now.
think
You know what I'm saying?
regional blogs are powerful.
Yeah,
Let's
they are
start with
much
that
and
first
practical,
before we start creating one
and
Africa.
that's
No,
more practical, and that's
it's
more
more practical
practical than yeah,
because
yeah.
people understand themselves. You, I don't know who's a Zimbabwean, who's in South Africa, who's Litoso. To me, you all guys are the same, and you might
Mm,
also think the same with West Africa or the
mm.
honors and things like that. It's normal, you understand. So I believe these regional blocks are more powerful. Let's make it work, and we can have
Yeah,
those currencies. If we have 10 let's say 6 currencies in Africa, that is a massive big difference. You understand? And we can give those currencies now value in the world market.
And I believe Kenya should be Kenya. I don't know why it's not recognized as a whole African country, but I believe Kenya should be incorporated into a.
Don't worry. You're gonna take over Kenya in
No,
no time. So it's
no, I'm
gonna
saying
be
Kenya should be classified,
Hey, watch
Horn
this. You
African.
know,
Yes,
Kenya is part of IGAD, right?
yes. You guys are Horn exactly. You're Horn African. Thank you. Thank you very much. But it
Yeah,
needs to
so
be
I
known.
think we should really work to make these regional blocks work. If the work is taking a lot of the problem already
Sure,
out.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it's going to happen in production. It's not going to happen with people just talking because we look the same. We are all one in the kumbaya.
no,
It's going to
Exactly. We don't
of
need
course,
exactly.
of
We have to
course,
get
of
past
yeah,
that
course.
stage. That's the
it's
surface
going
level, you know.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
it's going
the
to happen in production only. Production, and hence Kifaru. I don't support the idea of one currency in Africa. I honestly
No,
believe that's
we
stupid.
can't manage
It
it.
will,
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
It's
besides
difficult.
it will also not encourage competition among ourselves internal. I believe we should always have a positive competition internal where we compete with
But
production,
I want
manufacturing
regional.
industries, and all that.
Yes,
Yeah,
regional is
come,
good. I
yeah,
don't want we have 53
yeah,
different currencies, man. You
yeah. It's
understand?
crazy. Yeah,
That
it's
that
crazy.
that is the yeah that regional one like five.
Yeah, but man, our leaders are, I don't know, man. They slow on that, but for some,
Bro, we
they
don't have
probably
we
have got
need
their
leaders,
we,
own
we
Rosie.
reasons.
need the
We
we
don't
need the
we
East
don't.
Yeah,
African shilling, we need the South African pound, we need the West African you know what I mean?
Echo, they might call it.
It's
Yeah, we need.
exactly,
Yeah, yes,
we need
yeah.
regional currency
Mm.
that we
I
can
want to
compete,
be
you know what I mean?
able to leave my country and put my money in my pocket and come here and just exchange it in a bank.
but
You
Kifaru,
understand? But
Kifaru,
you can't do
Exactly.
that.
Kifaru,
You take
that in SADC, the rand is almost used in all southern African countries. You can purchase with rand directly in, I
yeah,
think,
because
Zimbabwe.
man, South Africa
w-
has not got competition. You
w-
understand? Take South
Exactly.
Africa, come
Mm,
right up. There's not really
mm,
anyone
Nah,
that can really
South
compete.
Africa dominates. South Africa
It
And
dominates
dominates like
Southern
completely
Africa.
hands down. Yeah, but
and
look at
and
Kenya. Tanzania is not going to accept because they're almost like fighting
the
equal.
same, yeah.
Ethiopia is not
It's
going
the
to.
balance.
Yeah,
Nah,
Yeah,
Tanzania, they have to just like the powerhouse of East Africa. Even though I hate to say it, but
but
it's Ethiopia. It's
my
Ethiopia.
point,
So
I was
yeah,
the
that's
reason
it.
why I said that, I was getting to this point. Other regions can already see the model that is taking shape. They're using the rand and the currencies of countries like Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and Swaziland are already pegged with the rand. So it's a matter of time that Zimbabwe peg
yes,
its
it's
currency with the rand, and
exactly.
Zambia, Mozambique. Then we eventually we will be one in that sense. That's how
Yeah.
it should happen.
Yeah, I
Slowly, but
think if the countries that using CFA, there are so many of them. I think those are the
mm,
ones that are just making the whole thing weak. Because if all of them say no CFA, we have one currency, there will be the biggest zone that's using the same money. There will be one of the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
zone. But they're just like I don't know. There's so much French licking booty licking asses in those countries, man. I don't understand
Yeah,
because I don't think
The French
Ghana
have went hard in West Africa, man.
Ghana will not accept to use Nigerian naira. They're never going to
You,
accept.
you, you you
That's
think
why
you think our
it has to become regionalized. Sure, that should be a
you think
regional
our
currency.
ego you think our egos are gonna stand on the way. You know why I
Of
think it
course,
was
of
easy.
course.
You know why I think it was easy to integrate Botswana and Namibia and Swaziland and Lesotho. It's because
Mm.
of the products. They most
Bro,
of the times they use products. We
Lozi,
use the same products.
Lozi,
We use the same.
how is Lutoso even a country, man? How's
Yeah,
Lutoso?
that's crazy, man.
Nah, I
That's crazy.
respect them, man. They have
And
their own country, man. That's
Where
crazy.
the South Africa actually fits them.
yeah,
They
so
just
and
But
and
they
they're
give South Africa water.
no,
but
come on.
but
I,
their government, but you see their government is trying to claim some land. I don't know if it's the opposition in Lesotho or what. They're trying to claim land in South Africa. I feel like they've been used by USA, man. They're trying to come up with nonsense like claiming land in
Lozi,
South
what's
Africa.
the difference between people from Lesotho and South Africa?
We're the same. There's more Lesotho.
Exactly,
Faru, there's more Lesotho people in South Africa than Lesotho. So
exactly. I
yeah,
presume you
it's
speak the
crazy.
same language, the same culture, everything.
Yeah, everything is the same.
So I don't know what's the point. You understand?
It's the colonizers, man. They still have got their boots on all of us, man. So we need to
It's the
rearrange
same like
all this.
it's
Yeah,
the same with
can I
the
ask a question? Can I ask a question about the like some of the guy that echo whatever phone in the thing saying, as soon as they mention Cuba and Venezuela, red flags come up with me, you know. the reason why Venezuela failed, not just because of sanctions, right? Because of populism, Hugo Chavez got in there, promised to pull the stuff, and that basically the state became the thing, and basically the oil revenue. He taxed the corporations, the international corporations that built one of the best economies in the world. And then now we have Venezuelan people on our streets in New York City and Detroit. But
Kala,
long
come
story
on, you
short,
don't believe that.
You know,
Kala, you don't believe that.
Venezuela
Kala,
wants to
come
go
on.
yeah, I do,
apparently.
I do. Because check this out. Not only that, when he won by a thin margin, he put all his cronies in place and everything. And I like Hugo Chavez, right? Because the bottom line sounds good, man. You know, you got oil wealth. Why not have it sitting there if you're not going to use it? But here's the thing, though. You know, when you have an economy, right, people have to produce. You have to have a productive population. You know, that means there's no getting around that. People have to, you can't just give, right? Without people producing. Some sort of human exertion, some sort of task, right? To create wealth, to create revenue, to create, you cannot have a bunch of people thinking that, okay, we're going to get, so I'm saying, is that the mentality going into BRICS? Where we're going to have all these dream programs, we give everybody free everything and they don't have to work, they don't have to do anything, or do we create a market economy where we have labor? If you don't want to do labor, you get education, you go into professionalism, and do those hard work. Let me tell you something. In the West, you know, when you go, when I grew up in the industrial zone in upstate New York, that was a very hard time. You know, men had to go out there, work 40 hours a week, 40 years and whatnot, just to make a paycheck and live a miserable existence, but it produced the highest standard of living in the world. Is Africa ready to do that? You know, or are we going to rely on the socialist nanny state? You know,
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know, I think I was the one that brought that idea. I think I was speaking with, I think maybe Abby, because Abby is so fixed with the idea that if we don't work with the white man with this global market, we are done. That we don't have no option. We must work with them. You know, he has this
We do
mentality.
though, Kefari, we
Yeah,
do. We
but
can't
but but
just
but but this is the
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but look at Cuba. You understand? I'm just trying to say what Kala was saying. Cuba has been sanctioned by America, like from I think from 1953. I don't know with the Cuban Missile Crisis, but
Cuba is
Cuba
a
is
Russian colony though.
okay. They have an alternative.
No,
You
it's not.
That,
understand?
No, it's not.
is
They have
the,
there's an alternative. We're not fixed. You know, they're doing good than most of us African countries who've got all access to the European countries.
mate, but Kefari, look at countries. Yeah, you have to look at the countries that have been have you got to utilize all systems. You can't just utilize one system and not utilize the other thing. Right now, there's no point of being aligned or say what I want to seclude from this side and align with this side. Because all that does is what's it called? It makes your market smaller, bro, and your potential
Okay,
smaller.
but
So
okay, I get your point. But my point, I was saying we should not be paranoid about being sanctioned. You understand? Oh, they're gonna sanction us. They're not gonna give us money. We're gonna be
no, because look,
sanctioned.
for example, look in my country, ever since the Civil War, we had the arms embargo. You get so even like every time we had the government that tried to, back in the day when they had transitional government trying to unify the country back after the Civil War, we had the arms embargo. The government can't even get guns. You know what I mean? So
But yeah, okay, the arms
that
embargo is something. Maybe they believe if you
it's a
get so
sanction.
much
It's a form
arms,
of a sanction.
you're
That
gonna
makes sense.
destroy yourself. But have you tried to have industries bring in machineries to say no? Have you
No,
tried that?
no, that's the next step. That's the next step. But the
Yeah,
next
I
step
think
there.
yeah. To me, if you do that and they said you've got embargo, then we can say okay, actually they
But
want you,
with that,
they
Kefari,
want to bankrupt you.
would you align to a side, Kefari? Like if you was to would you align to a side if you got asked? Yes, or would you be non-aligned?
Will I align with what? Sorry.
Like, would you be someone? Do you say Africa should align with a side, or Africa should be non-aligned?
I think we should have an alliance, some kind of alliance, and we should have some.
Okay, the east or the west then?
But we should
The
not
east
have
or
an
the
alliance that completely dictates to us that we
But what
cannot do
about?
this.
I'm saying, okay, should we have an alliance with the east or the west then? From your perspective.
Well, the way things look like now, I don't. We've not tried the East, so let's try them. Then we can compare. That's what I'm just gonna say. We've just been to the West. They have their goods and their bads. Let's try something else. You understand? Let's test the other waters. Then we can compare. We're not saying, oh, let's kick out the West completely. Let's just bring someone else and let's compare and see what works for us. Maybe we can just do it by
Yeah,
ourselves.
that
Maybe we
that
don't.
that
Maybe
makes
we don't
sense.
need we
That's
don't
the
need
way.
both of them. Maybe we just need ourselves. Maybe when we try the East, it's not working. We try the West. We're gonna say, you know what? We have to do these things by ourselves. There's no better side. That's what I'm just saying.
For
I
sure.
just saw recently a lot of French soldiers were killed in Burkina Faso alongside with terrorists. What are they
God.
doing there?
No, they're working with the terrorists. They're making videos now. They made a little
Is
documentary, like they're like how the terrorists are getting killed by the government. And then
is
like it makes no
exactly.
sense. It makes no sense. So
Mm.
they
But
they they fund these groups, bro. So the more
Mm.
turmoil, the more bullshit going on, the more they take out.
Yeah, I get your point when you talk about the West. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the West, like the European, they have what they call the white guilt. It's something that is in them, and because of that, they can't really do certain things. They have this guilt, but the East don't have no guilt. You understand? So we need
Exactly,
to
no
we
good.
need to understand that they owe you nothing. They have done nothing to you, so they don't owe you
Exactly.
no. Yeah, but the West, they have white guilt. Oh, my ancestor did this thing to these people. I must know how I walk. So because of that, we can talk to them anyhow. You can't go to
Yeah, we
East
have
and
we have
like
more
you can.
leeway. Kapari, don't you think?
I
Don't you
get
think we
you.
have
I
more
get you.
leeway?
Yeah, I get what you can't go to the East and talk to shit how we talk to
Because
police
they can
in
they
the
can do
UK.
they can do
You,
you now anytime. Yeah,
yeah, you can't talk to China's police as we talk to the police in the UK like shit or what. You're done, or even in Russia, because they don't
exactly. You're
owe you
done.
nothing.
You'll be
Yeah,
missing. Exactly, man.
exactly. So I understand that aspect, but let's try. Let's see. But this time, I hope we're going to meet them with that we're more aware. We are more conscious of how things work. So I just hope that who's ever going to negotiate ideas with these people should be a conscious person. Because if not, we're just
Yeah,
gonna be fighting the same or war. So
we can't have a sellout at that table again, man. The
yes,
last
we
time
they
they
say they
apparently
say
gave
you
us the independence, we had
yeah, they
sellouts on the
say
table.
fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool
Shame
me
on you,
twice,
for me
shame on
twice,
me.
shame on me. Exactly.
Yeah, you
Ain't gonna
understand.
happen another
So,
time for sure.
yeah, so let's
Nah,
see.
but
But
you guys really believe Africans can rise though?
come on,
For
Kaiser,
sure,
man.
man, Kaizo. For
Yeah.
sure.
If
You
Africa
get
don't
me?
rise up, I'm gonna join the Somalis. We're gonna take over Kenya. If you think like that, but
No, yeah. Right now, the West they're
Well,
ready for us.
my personal opinion, as a brother from the diaspora, if you can have more conversations like this on university campuses and people talking without, if ever you get to the point where you create the groundswell of culture and social connections, right? Or in real time, not just on the internet and everything, and not everybody thinking short-sighted. Like, and I get this, right? Everybody wants to say what they can, so you get public office. Public office is the only thing that pays. So you change your whole life around. I've seen people that I respect a lot of times, particularly in Liberia, right? They'll say stuff, they'll talk to me, and then they get up in public, and they'll say something. I'm like, dude, you know better. You know that's not right. But we have all the shit we were talking about for years. So if we can have conversations like this where we're actually thinking long term about the future and everything, I think Africa will rise. But if long as everybody's out for themselves and what I can get in my pocket now, and the white man knows that. All he has to do
of
come with an
course,
envelope, or come with an envelope and everything. Same thing in Black America, same thing. Our situation here. Whoever buys off the politician and everything, we have no political representation in America that represents us. All we have is white people with black skin in office. That's all we have. You know.
and those people are chosen by the white people, even
Of course, the bottom line. Talk
just
about white
yeah.
liberals. White liberals to do their bidding and to say what they want to say and everything, and we just have to go along with it. We have to just go along with it and suck it up and like, oh yeah, I guess they're speaking for us.
Yeah. It's
So that's what.
something that I really hate is when I see like black people defending white people. I'm not saying that is wrong, but you don't need it. They
Yeah,
have the
they
right
don't
to
need us.
defend themselves. Stop trying to
Yeah.
defend them.
The
It's not
Candace
your job.
Owens.
Yeah, it's
Kundis
not your
Owens.
job. Just let
Kundis
them defend
Owens.
themselves. Yeah. So when I say, "Oh, you're like this," why? Nah, nah, nah. It's stupid. To me, it's not your
Yeah.
job. So yeah.
Anyway, fellas, I got to go. It was a nice conversation. And I'm glad Kaiser is back. I don't know what happened to you. You were gone for like a week or so. Oh, you were sick,
Yeah,
weren't you?
when he comes back, there's more calm conversation, and before you know, the dust kicks in again.
Yeah, man,
So
the dust, man. I was missing the dust, man. Yeah, all the dust kicking out. If I don't have I was like, wait a minute, I know I'm missing something. I need my dust. I need my daily dose of dust. So I go singing for some Kaiser shows and clips and whatnot,
yeah,
And
he's
I
the
come
puppet
across Judy.
master.
I said, oh, I got Cripple Judy. Oh, there you go. It
He's the
satisfies my
puppet
dust cravings.
master. He knows
You know?
exactly how to create the dust. So
Yeah, the dust, man. I was like, yo, I'm missing my dust, man. Whew, yeah.
Yeah, you were like, wait, hang on. There's something that's not right here, man. Like, what is it? What is it? Ah, yeah, that's it.
Oh, my dust. I need my dust. I need my dust kicking, man. What the hell's going on? So I got extreme. I was like, good. I couldn't find your show. Could I get you on somebody else's StreamYard or whatever?
Yeah,
I was
nah,
like, then
big
somebody said,
pharma
no,
took
you
me
can find.
down.
Yeah, so somebody's like, yeah, you find out. I said, what else guys on show, man? I'm missing all the dust, man. Come on, man. So but enjoy the show. I enjoy the show, bro. Keep it up, man. Next time I'm on the show in the chat, I'll give you super chat. I'll talk to you later. All right,
Okay.
Kaiser. Y'all
Yeah,
take care.
shout out, man.
yeah, take care. Yeah, peace
Yeah,
and love and
yeah,
blessing.
you too, brother, man. Yeah, keep following, man. Yeah, that's good, man. At least we had a productive conversation today,
Yes. It's good when we can listen and we learn. I think when we're just quiet, we learn and people come back to the senses. But when there's dust, no one is gonna listen.
Oh yeah, true. Everyone's trying to support their country, their region, even though it doesn't make a real difference in real life because we're all dusty.
What's this? Yeah, I really
Yeah,
need to learn about BRICS because I don't want it just to be a talk thing. I think there's some more potential, but I'm just reserving my comments. I'm not
I've
kicking
been.
against it. I think I need to read more and
Yeah.
do my own analysis and conclusion.
No, you're right, but we can look at the basic facts, right? India is an enemy of China. That's a fact. China is actually the country that gave Pakistan its a nuclear arsenal, or nuclear weapon, the technology. So India, China, no, they fought a brutal
Nah,
border war.
nah, Kaiser. Yeah, I get your point, but I don't think Russia and America are in good terms. They're not, but they're
They're not, of course.
collaborating in the IIS, in the International Space Center. Is the interest? What's my interest? I think people is looking more the interest. If it's bigger on this side, that's what they do. Despite they're fighting each other in the war in Ukraine, but they're still working together. You understand? Ukraine, Russia, and Germany, Russia and Europe, Russia and Europe is now a talk of war, but Russia is still supplying fuel to Germany. You understand? So it's just the interest. To me, let's look what do they have to gain?
Actually, Ukraine is buying Russian oil for their tanks,
It's exactly. So
which is
this
pretty
was the
crazy.
complex world. So it's just the interest. What do they have to gain? And let's tap into what we too have to gain. We're not trying to fix the world. What do we need? Let's go and tap and gain from this new thing and see how we can make yourself better. No, I don't just want BRICS to be a new wave of African countries to go borrow money. That's what I don't want to see. Oh, okay, China can give me, or IMF can give me money. Oh, I'm gonna borrow money from BRICS. I don't want it to be like something like that. I want it to be an actual Africa, like something we can actually have a voice. Let's bring developments and things like that.
Now, but let me ask you a question, right? Like I keep asking the same question, but I never really get an answer. Do you really believe that Black Africans can make a successful nation for themselves?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Look, that's why I said, we need an elite group. I think 3 days ago, I was just watching some documentary about the Scramble of Africa, the Berlin Conference, man. If you look at those guys, those were elite people. They were engineers, doctors, scientists. You understand? There were not some dusty peasants in Europe that sat together and built Europe. They came to Africa, and people like that, dusties can't compete with them. You even see how they dress. This like they were smart, the best of the best. The people who could sail us, who could navigate, who could use map that time. These were smart people. They came together and built. You couldn't send those people and for them to compete with Dusty's African chiefs. They could not. We need an elite group in each African country to build. If we can't produce that, it's going to be difficult. We just need an elite class of people. That's what I believe.
You're right, Kifaro, because I think there's this idea that normies are just as capable as, like, I think. Okay, let me make this clear, right, Kifaro? I think, unfortunately, with this Afrocentric movement, there's this idea that everybody is just as good as everybody else if they believe in themselves. But look at any elite competition. Look at sports. Look at anything, right? The elites are always the elites, right? You're not going to compare Usain Bolt or Manyala, right, and any of these top runners to the average runner from other countries. Clearly, there's a huge distinction. So why is it
Of
that we
course.
think that in the intellectual space somehow we're all the same? I think that's the mentality.
We're not. That's why I tell people I do respect someone who is a mathematician and a physicist because that is my limit. You understand what I mean? Because it's something that you cannot just learn at home and understand. Your brain needs to be working in a. If someone gets a PhD in physics or maths, you better respect that guy. That is a genius. I'm not talking about some dusty O level, advanced level maths. Everyone can do. You just need to take some. You may struggle, but you might understand. But if you got someone that's got a PhD in physics and maths, that is a genius. I'll respect that guy. Even if he's got no money, I know his brain is something else. That's just how I believe. You understand? And if you get someone like that, you need to take care of him. Not some dusty billionaire like we call them money misro, just a dusty that's got money, and you think just because he's got money, you can put him in decision making. Wrong. He is not. That's not much. To have money does not mean you're intelligent. You might just be lucky. You might be someone that can navigate your society. You understand, but it's not necessarily intelligent because you're working on top what intelligent people build to give you money. You understand what I mean? You
Right.
can navigate your society and become rich. You're like, but that intelligent that needs to create, you might not even have it, but you can know how to use utensils that have been created by intelligent people to succeed. That's different kind of intelligence. To me, that creativity, that's that thought that you can sit and think and solve problems. Those are the kind of people that we need in Africa, not some dusty tribal politician. We don't. We don't. That's just waste of time.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think generally that's the path that I want to see us move towards, right? Because I've noticed a couple of things, right? Kifaru, you were there earlier on some other stream. If you've seen, actually, Kifaru, you guys call us Dusty, but we've actually moved far. We actually talk about things that are the highest level of getting things done, right? No matter
Yeah,
how dusty we are, yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, man, I've told you, you need to. I know you don't like Kenya, but you need to go and register in one local political party. You will go there, just sit and listen to them. You will see how ignorant these people are. I swear to God, and they will claim that they're saying something. You'll be so you you'll be surprised how ignorant these people who think they're politician how they think. If you have some time, you have some rally or some court, whatever, just go. There's nobody there, man. There's nobody. And this the Muzungu is taking advantage of this emptiness. You can't take a trained Muzungu that knows law, how to manipulate people, and send him to Africa with this local politician. He's just gonna use his intelligence and deceive all these people. It'll be easy for him, man.
Oh
It'll be
yeah,
easy.
true.
Me
Control.
myself, I can go and deceive them. Me, I'm not gonna lie. So we
Yeah,
need an elite class. We need to train them. Intelligence. If someone is intelligent, you can use him to do anything. He's going to understand. You understand? If someone can build a ship, he can build, I don't know what, he can build a jet plane. You understand what I mean? You just need
yeah,
to read the books and just say, okay, you just need to configure it this way. Yeah, just some different configuration. They will understand, put them and let them think, let them come up with solution, man. We need that. We need an elite group of Africans, and it's not just money. Elite group, get them and
yeah,
pay them. Just do research. Think you paying you. Do research. Like if you go, you come. Sometimes people wonder, oh, this guy's just doing research and they're paying him. They don't know what he's actually doing. That is intelligent. Oh, he's working in research. You're just paying him what they're doing. They don't understand, man. They don't. We need that elite group, and if we don't see it, we're going to struggle. We can't compete.
yeah, and 100%. Now, Peace says, great job, guys. I like the energy you guys bring. A strong movement is needed across Africa at the same time to send a message to the leaders to start working towards changes that we need. So, politics.
Mm. Who's the
That's true.
storyteller? Say stop jerking Kaiser off. Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
Kaiser
I
can
think.
be dusty, but if Kaiser has got a PhD in physics, you better respect this dude, man. Having a PhD in physics it's not an easy thing. But I know most of you don't even believe he's got a PhD in physics. You think he's a scammer.
Nah, come on, man. I cannot be that much of a scammer, right?
You just
Yeah.
need to take Kaiser and put him in the right industry. He's gonna excel. You put it in on YouTube, it's not a YouTuber. That's why it's becoming dusty because he's struggling to be social. It's a nerd. If not noticed, nerds need to be in the lab trying to fix something for the country, not on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, true. Now, what the Africans say. They're like, "Oh, Kaizo, no sane man would go leave the West, right, and drinking off the Muzungu, the Onyibos, breast to come, earn $300 on YouTube every month." They say that that's a crazy. You see what I mean, right, Kifaru? When you go and take the step towards freeing your people, they think you're mad. And I remember this concept, an abstract thing that can be compared to comparison is the drapetomania. It's a mental illness that the racist whites created for any black slave that wanted to be free. They said, nah, there's no way that you'd want to be free. You're mentally ill. The same way they're saying to me right now, Kaizo, no African man after tasting the Muzungu, the Oyibos sweet nectar is going to want to go back and earn $300 on YouTube. You see what I mean, Kifaro? That's all they
Yeah,
think.
they don't think. I
These people
understand. They
don't care
say they
about
say you
anything.
bought your PhD in Kenya from a Nigerian. There's that storyteller. Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's we need to give respect to intelligence. I do. I told you when I was in my company, we're trying to make we're still struggling spaghetti pasta from cassava. It's hard. You
Okay.
understand?
Hmm.
We're trying to use the cassava thing, but there's some binding element that is not working.
Of
We
course, yeah.
had to pay a lady that she's a food what's it called, biotechnology, what's it called,
Food biotech analyst
yes,
or
yes,
technician,
something
yeah.
like that. We had to pay her so much money, and she came. We had a low lab and she did something in work, but she told us, she explained to us that what is needed, that if we can able to do that, then we're going to do it. But we know it might not be as cheap as we wanted. You understand? Because we might need to add some stuff. You see professionality, but we just had some dusty person that thought he could. You've seen something on YouTube and he was just thinking, oh, I can do it, but he didn't understand what he understands. So she was expensive, but we learned a lot. You understand? But we could not keep her because we are not that big yet. But the people, we just need to bring them, and they are, man, they are. Those
Yeah.
are a proper engineer. They know what they're doing. They know everything. They tell you the shelf life. They tell you the what, I don't know, the bacterias. The it was so detailed. and you really feel that. You see,
Look, this is what Jeanette says. Low cassava spaghetti. Bush people always be bush.
no, it's innovation. You know why not? You understand? You understand? It's not. Why not? What's cassava? Spaghetti is wheat. We're trying. We have wheat. We could do it with wheat, but we want to. The idea was trying to produce a food that the local person can buy without spending a fortune. You understand? That's the idea. You know.
Man, wait, Tifaru, but I swear, like cassava is like poisonous. Why you guys eating poison? Like you never see me
No,
eating.
no, 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 no.
It has like right.
Kaiser, just let's say it's a research that we're trying to do, but we saw the limitation. It can be done, but it might not be as cheap as we wanted because you will need to add some binding supplement and things like that. You know, she gave us some our kind of a list. The idea that we want food to be accessible, we want the things that people eat, they should have it at really cheap price. That's what the company is trying to do. You understand? We could get
Yeah.
weed. I know that they're trying to love the cassava thing, but that's the idea. Is just to try to do a research. No one is going to do it for us. Like the Onyibo don't eat cassava. They don't care. If we eat
Yeah.
cassava, let's try to use it to make. How can we use it? How can we maximize the use of cassava? I always give an example like for potatoes, in the West. They eat potatoes in every form. You're not gonna say potatoes bush. No, they eat potato puree, potato chip, potato widget,
Okay,
potatoes.
that's right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now we will push people because we eat potatoes. No, this is dusty Africans, man. I think this is westernized Africans. Let's try something. Why can't we do it? Now we have gluten free. Most of the thing we have gluten free. We have even cassava cabbage powder, and we have a farm some old people's home that they want it because it's gluten free, and they
Okay.
love it. And they had no idea that people could like something like that. Cabbage flour. You understand? It's
That's
little things like this. So let's leave us. We're gonna try to do. We're gonna make the first cassava spaghetti, bro. You go. I'm gonna give everyone free package. Don't worry. We're still working on it. We've not given out.
everyone. You want to give? So I'm expecting my free cassava package, and it can't be like one gram. I want like a whole 1 kilogram.
I'm gonna give you like a box of it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay,
gonna
okay.
post you a box of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
cabbage flour. It was successful. It's easy. We
oh,
did it.
it's cabbage flour now.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
we do so many things, man. We're still in the research. We just want to do our best. You understand? We don't want
Kifaro,
to
when
do
you say
things that
yeah,
people understand. We just
when
got
you
a
say you're doing,
formula and was trying to replicate it.
when you say you're doing research, are you sure it's a real research or the African you're paying? They're
Yeah.
watching TV
No, no,
and
no.
then
I'm not
saying,
doing it. We have like some people are actually study food processing. you know. So when I say research, we just have the minimum equipment. You understand? We're not really big, but if we're big, we're gonna continue doing. The more money we have, the more equipment we have, we're gonna keep pushing. But that mindset that you just need to come and try stuff and see because we made something. I'm not gonna say it, and they tried like 10 times until they had it. And when it went to the market, everyone said, "Wow, how do you do this?" But we know the formula. You understand?
yeah,
If they did not try, there was a batch of some product we sent, and we had to call it back. We had to tell everyone that was in the store, please don't sell this thing. It's gonna go bad in 1 week because they made a mistake.
and
You
you guys are
understand?
willing to take the L.
We took the L. We took the L because if it went and that it reached the market and it'll be scandal and we can even be called for it by the health Ministry of Health. You're gonna poison people. You understand? And they
Oh
told
wow.
us if we want to sell this kind of food, we need this kind of professional to be like one of the not just some dusty people. You understand? Things that
Hmm.
needs like processing, that needs to shelf life, that is liquid. It's really complex. You understand? Because the packaging and things like that. But I've learned a lot, man. I'm gonna tell you. I've learned a lot and I know how things work. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I know the process of so many things. Just by just by being I don't know, inquisitive. How do you say it? But you sometimes when you grow, you know, okay, you can't do these things by yourself. You need a professional.
No, that makes actually a lot of sense, man. Hopefully I keep seeing. Shout out, peace. Peace says value added products research is great. Hopefully you get funded to do a lot more. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so shout out, man. Kifaro, people are definitely are loving about what you're sharing, man.
I'm gonna if you don't know, you know this Choma this ADDI lady.
Yeah,
we spoke with her. We had a meeting with her. Those were the first people we did because we wanted some kind of Pan-African funding. We didn't want to get funding from no Muzungu organization. You understand? We met some of them, but they too are looking for money. I'm not gonna lie. So they're expecting money from their donors, and they were so interested. They were so interested. There were so many things like that, and we just said, you know what? Let's just start small. Let's start small because we had a budget of almost $300,000. That was the capital, but we could not raise that money because it was too much. So I said, you know what? Well, how much have you got? How much have you got? Let's start with that and start building. And it's going great. One day I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing now, but let's keep it
yeah.
nice.
It turns out that Kifaro probably has like 2 pygmies working for him, and he's paying them 2 acorns a day.
Yeah.
Right, Kifaro?
See, they call him Big Cassava. No, they don't call me Big Cassava. No, man. We pay people enough. That's what I'm just gonna say. Well, if you want more, you need to be more intense. We pay you according to your production, man. It's time based. You know, we do it like the European. Yeah.
Yeah, Kifaro is gonna be out here we're paying you 2 acorns a day, man. To the pygmies.
No.
What's
We have
this?
the workers have gone. The some have come, some go. You know, so we're so serious, man. That's how you need to do
Yeah,
what you
Marie
best.
Antoinette, I'm gonna do some meta analysis on a geopolitics video. But before that, I'd like to say hi to you a little bit if you are there and able to call in, sis. And shout out again, shout out to Marie Antoinette. She's one of the sponsors of the show, with a nice, beautiful East African E1B1B Haplo group Patreon. You know, so shout out to that. Mad appreciations, Ike, and also Kemi is one of them. And also shout out to all the members. We got Mrs. H there. We got who else is a member, right? Kifaro, you a member? No, I doubt it, man. There's no way you want to spend money on YouTube. You
No,
only
I
send the
just I
facts.
just I just paid my membership for 3 months one time. Don't worry. So
Ah, nice. Okay, shout out to you, Kifaro. Right. So yeah, we'll
I
go
just
Ike as
come
well.
donate. I come donate like some £20. That's gonna cover my membership for some time, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, of course, man. I appreciate those fat £20 super chats, man.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
okay,
definitely
but
coming in. Yeah.
it's all right. But it's good. It's good. At least you make it £1. You know, all the poor Africans can afford. At
Oh
least
yeah, because I realized Patreon was probably too expensive. It was $7, and I think Africans couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I've seen so
They can
many
afford.
people with £1. At least when they have that badge across their name, it makes them feel happy. It's good, and
Yeah, of course.
it makes your channel look a little bit more serious. You know, dusty seriousness.
Yeah, and some, the perks. Sometimes we put some shows on membership
And
only.
Kaiser, this is the thing. We want to actually grow. We want to like establish completely. Then we start franchising out of Africa. That's the problem. That's the plan. We want the name, that brand, to be in Kenya, but you'll be producing Kenya's product with the name, the brand name. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So we keep. Yeah. That's just
Listen, hit up with
that's the
Ike.
plan.
Hit up with Ike.
Eh?
Kifaro, hit up with Ike once you got things sorted. Because
Yes, yeah, I'll link up with Ike. We'll do it in Ghana. But you know, we're gonna have my name. But Ike has already got his own company. He might not change his name. You understand? But the name
right.
is gonna be the name of our company because it's gonna be the same all across. So
So
that's
you
the
want a
plan.
franchise?
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. You know,
Okay. I think
anything,
that's
man, anything. You just need to make it standard, bro. Africans love good packaging. I'm not gonna lie. See, take any dusty thing, put it in a nice package. They're gonna buy. Well, I don't want to say you're gonna trick this. You're gonna trick Africans. Just make it look nice. You can have like simple, man. You can go to like these old women in the market. You don't even need to do so much. These local people selling like pepper, dry pepper, ginger, like that. Just get the same stuff, have a nice package it. They're gonna buy yours. They don't buy that. It's some simple business that we just try as working. They just like things that looks nice. I
That's
think
true.
that's just the human
Yeah,
nature.
actually, Kifaro, you're right. I'll give you an example, right? When me and my girlfriend, are trying to go to a shop, there's these things which look, we call it gunia. It's like the stuff that the old Africans, what kind of material is it? It's like some kind of, I don't know what you guys call it. I'm trying to think, man. My brain is not working. But gunia is like, those stuff that old women used to carry their potatoes on. Yeah, I've dropped the link.
Something like a basket.
Yeah, it's almost like a basket, but it's like much like smaller weaves, right? We call it gunia here. Now, sometimes, right, we got a lot of stuff we got to carry from the shop, and I'm like, yeah, let's just get the gunia bag. And she's like, no, it's gonna look nice. It's gonna look cute. And you're right, man. Africans love good packaging. I'm being serious. Even when it's supposed to be practicality, they'd rather
I'll
be less
tell you,
practical
a
and
lot
look
of
cute.
people have bought a product just because of how it's packaged. We really take the time, we design it, but we're trying to do it by ourselves, but it's so expensive. Now we send the design to China, so they print us a roll. So we try to do it locally. It's just so expensive. I don't know why. It's like three
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
So
So actually, you know what?
unfortunately,
I did see Ike's design as well for his Go and Grow company, right? The packaging looks sexy. I'm not gonna lie. It actually looks very like nice. So yeah, you're right. Packaging is definitely something that
packaging
makes
is
Africans
really,
excited.
really good. It's really good. It's gonna make a difference.
Interesting.
Packaging.
So you know what?
Yeah.
All the stuff we talk about here on this channel about how Africans are, we can leverage that understanding to actually make us money, right? That's the point here. And
Yeah.
that makes me excited because I'm like, yo,
Is
as
is
long
the
as we
is
can
the
make
fast
money.
is the fast turnover? Like for example, if you go to a
Mhm.
local market and someone is selling maybe sword in some locally made like this plastic bag, it's just 2 cups. Let's say the same, I don't know, let's just say 1 shilling. Do your same, sell for 1 shilling. It might be maybe the cost of the packaging may add some little shilling, but sell for 1 shilling. You're gonna do fast turnover. Like people that you're gonna sell faster. You understand what I mean? You'll be having more turnover than that person. People will like little girls like to go and see their shopping bag. It looks colorful. Simple things like that. It do works. I'm not going to lie. You understand? They want to be like, yeah, they want to get some value in your stuff. If they say we sell some, for example, like cassava flour. If you just sell the cassava flour in a stupid plastic bag, no one is gonna buy. But just because it's in a nice package like cereal. The packages like cereal packaging, colorful like that. They love it. You know, to them it's something different. It's just something.
Yeah. No, that makes actually a lot of sense, Kifaro. Okay, it makes sense. Look, the fact that you understand marketing already makes me excited to see,
Yeah, but the
your
things that I
work.
did not learn, I learned with experience. Sometimes I didn't study marketing. It's just when you go, you see the local people, you understand your mindset. You don't even like gradually. You try things. This one does not work. Okay, and all right, let's try this one. It does. Yeah, we've tried so many things. Some did not work. Some work. We just keep moving. But there's some main product that we know the like. Now, I met one lady, yeah, and she asked me for 12 tons. Just imagine. And she wanted 12 tons every 6 months because she said she's taking some to Spain, but we could not afford that much because we've got dusty African farmers that don't know how to grow crops all season. So it was difficult.
Right.
Yeah. So we're still working on that. That's why we've decided for us to actually scale to get a full potential, we must control all the product of the chain of production. We must control the farms. That's when we're gonna hit our potential if we can control the farms. But we're depending now on farmers that have it's difficult. You can't really depend in them. So if we
But
can
you know what?
control the farms,
Let me ask you a question, Kifaro. Right? I remember once. This has just happened once that I remember. KFC in Kenya ran out of potatoes. Right. So do you know what happened? All the Kenyan farmers were like, "Yo, give us this contract. Basically, at one point they were selling ugali and the fried chicken, like fufu and fried chicken. So the reason they said that, they're like, they were like, listen, we cannot like, we do not believe in the quality of the Kenyan market, so we have to stick with our suppliers. Now they had a good point, right? They basically said, they listen, we don't know the quality of the market is going to be the same, but they were lying. What they were basically saying is, logistically speaking, we cannot rely on you to produce us what we need on the go. We rather rely on our Egyptian producers of potatoes, because we know they'll give us exactly 20 tons by this date and that date. So when it comes to like food or any kind of logistics, your reputation really matters more than someone coming in and selling you something cheaper or something.
Yeah, you don't want to give me today and next month I come, you don't have. So that's a problem. I don't know. And we've had that kind of a problem. I think, Nilo this year.
Yo, what's good, Abby, man? Is your internet working well?
My internet is always working, bro. It's not like your third world Safaricom
internet. This guy. Yeah, no, trust me, bro. I think MTN is worse than Safaricom, but yeah, but you know what? Abby, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, look, you guys talk about use. If your government just passed a law saying any food franchise that works in Kenya should get supplies from Kenya, that question is out there. They'll be forced to get supplies from within their country. That's what most countries do. Yeah. So if you start a franchise in South Africa, they're forced to get their potatoes or whatever from within South Africa. That's just the normal law. Or on top of that, you can just start a KFC off-brand, like most countries do.
Exactly.
You can use. So why do you even bother with KFC? Like, this is the cuck shit, though. You have government policy. You can use government policy to force them to buy your stuff, or you can bring them in, get people to learn how to do the KFC stuff, and then make them start a fake KFC brand, and then outcompete them and drive them out of the market. That's it.
Exactly. You know.
No. Okay, look. Generally, like, okay, look, we do have the Southern African fake brand, Chicken Inn, Pizza Inn, and Galitos. That's fine. That does actually compete. I think that chicken's better than KFC. But the problem is, Abby, look, in theory that works. Yeah, Chicken Inn is actually nice. But the problem is when it comes to like I'm not even gonna say Kenyans, just generally African countries. Do you know how bad they suck at logistics? I would rather have a multinational company running things here rather. And by when I say multinational, I don't mean
necessarily. Just say you're a cuck and you don't mind your economy being run.
I don't mean Oyibo. I don't mean Oyibo or Mozungu or Ajinabi. I just simply mean a multinational company. I mean, even my own company is multinational, right?
Okay, then stop complaining. This is the thing. Stop complaining then.
Nah.
It's either you don't like the current situation, you want to change it, or you're okay with it. And that way, stop complaining. What's the point of complaining?
Nah, but it's crazy, man.
This is the African. You give him a solution, then he says, actually, the way it is right now is actually better, so it's okay.
That's typical of Wanga, so we understand. It's typical.
But honestly, this continent has no hope, man. Let's just be honest, man.
Nah, we got a little bit of hope, right? Just
Bro, I was listening to you guys speak on that previous stream you did, bro. The average African is retarded, fam. There's no hope. These guys just talk in circles.
No, look, yeah, the old generation. I think the problem is, like, look, these guys don't know that they don't see the same stuff that we see. I think that's the main difference. Now I know why.
Okay, bro, just be honest, man. There's no hope. I do it. Just give up, bro. Stop coping.
What we're talking about, there's hope, man. We need the average African maybe does but we've got people who are not average, and we need to get those people and give them the power. That's the solution.
Okay, the people that you saw on Kago's stream, are they average or above average compared to Africa?
Well, what people? All of us comes on. Okay, so what's
in the last stream, bro? In the last stream,
was I there?
The stream that he does with one man. Those West African uncles that you saw. Are they average, above average, or below average?
I did. To be honest, I did not listen to them. I came and I went.
Kifari, you were there, bro. Stop the time.
Yeah, but I just asked. I came and spoke to Lozi, then I left.
No, not that stream. No, the one before that.
Today,
Yeah, okay. I spoke. Oh, yeah. Okay. I asked that guy one question about his solution. Then I had a call. Then I left. I did not listen again. Yeah, I remember.
if I was just be honest, man, they're all dusty, man. That's your above average African. They're hopeless, bro. They just talk about the same nonsense over and over again. You ask them how to implement it, they don't even know. I literally told this guy to his face. He was like, "Oh, we Africans, we can't move around Africa." Yo, whose mic is doing that?
Ask Kifaru's mic. You go on mute Kifaru a little bit. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
asked him, "Oh, we Africans, we can't move to each other's country without a visa." I told him, "Bro, you could get the African passport, which will help you move across African countries without a visa." Bro, that shit went over his head. He still kept complaining about it. Like I just didn't give him a solution. They just want to come here and complain. There's no hope, man.
Yeah,
No, but
Even when I told him,
the solution is not moving among African countries. I actually explained to this guy when they say free trade or free movement, that should be for heavy, like for real business people taking their goods from one
not
part
for
to
the
another.
average dusty.
Yeah,
These
of
guys
course.
think
They say I don't want my dusties to go to Nigeria. I don't want your dusties to come to my country. Keep your dusties. I keep my dusties. But the business people who've got actual business can move freely. They can transport your goods. That's the thing first. Not what you want to go to do in Kenya. If you want to go to in Kenya for what? What are you going to do in Kenya? You understand? So we should forget about this free movement just coming. If Kenya and Ethiopia, they can do their own agreement and say, okay, Kenyans can come this time and things, but there will still be some kind of control at the border, So I think it's normal. You can't just say, oh, I can just take my bicycle and ride my bicycle and go to Ethiopia. No, man, you can't actually do
that
that.
Kifaru, these people don't understand. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Kifaru, don't take offense to this because you are an older gentleman. But the people, I used to think older people are wiser and stuff. But the more I talk to some of these people here, bro, the older generation are fucking retards, bro. It's easy to see why Africa stagnated during their time, why nothing has happened. These guys are dumb as fuck.
No, these people even they're not even in power. People in Africa that's like saying they're 60. So these people they've not they don't really have much to do. You understand?
But
But
Kifaru, man, okay, Kifaru, you can test the general like intelligence of a certain generation by talking to these people. If these guys are retards, what do you expect of the leaders? They're also going to be retards.
exactly. Exactly. But you see, you can't judge Africa based on Kaiser's channel. You can't judge.
So Kagle's channel is probably even like it's
top
even
5%.
giving them a better. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, bro. The average African
He's
is
a
dumber than
solid
this, man.
African on this
Kagel,
channel.
I was on an Ethiopian. There's some American Ethiopian guy. He just does
Okay.
mostly he just does mostly ethnic stuff. Like he talks about Fano, OLA, and stuff like that.
Right.
So obviously, I go on his channel. I'm trolling a bit, and then I just decided to ask him, yo, what do you think about Ethiopia joining BRICS? He looked at it. He's like, "Oh, BRICS. Is that?" He named the countries. Like, yo, I don't know too much about it. He went back to talking about ethnic violence, the ethnic issues. Like, bro, these niggas don't even know they joined BRICS. The average Ethiopian doesn't even know that they joined BRICS. What BRICS is, they don't give a fuck. So,
Yeah, of
but this
course.
guy lives in this guy lives in the US. He was like, "Oh, is that the organization with Brazil?" And then when he got to the S, he was like, "What's this? Is that okay, South Africa, South Africa." I don't know too much about it, but let's go back to the.
Oh my
Let's
god.
talk about
But
that.
but there's the thing, you don't expect every Ethiopian to understand things like that. You understand? Even
Kifaru,
the
this guy lives
US
in the
does
US,
not mean
bro.
you need to meet the ones that understand. Like go to university, meet university students who do economics or maybe political relationship.
Kifaru,
Try to
stop,
talk
man.
with them.
Stop, Kifaru. The average person knows about BRICS, man. Stop. You just even basics. He didn't even know anything, bro. He's like, I don't care about that nonsense. Like, I don't know too much about it. It's probably not going to do shit. Let's go back to talking about.
Maybe he does not even know Ethiopia is part of BRICS.
He didn't, bro. He said, "Oh, they joined." What is it? No, this was yesterday.
Oh God, yeah, but yeah,
Kifaru,
man.
these people don't know shit, man. Just be honest, man. K Rose is actually like top 5% at best, at least minimum.
Okay, so they say that Miss A said they're taking all their dusties to Kenya. You understand? So be ready for Somalia's dusties.
I'm not saying she would have known. It's one of the Ethiopian channels.
Yeah.
But he didn't even know what the S was. I had to tell him what the S was
Oh
in
God.
bricks.
But the bricks. So are they going to change their name because now it's more than bricks? It's not
Huh?
Britain. It's not what's it called? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now they've got so many people. Are they going to add change it?
It's still
Or
just bricks.
it's
No,
still
it's still
just
just
bricks?
bricks, I think.
And our
Yeah.
BRICS is the founding members. The new guys at Dusties, they don't have equal voting rights as the original 5 members.
I get
So the
it.
rest of
Look at
them
the
don't.
look at this. Look at Kifaru. You listen to this Kenyan who's butthead, bro.
Yeah, but it's true. How can man? I think Ethiopia has proven that they are better than you, those Kenyans, bro.
No, Kifaru, Kenya never
Kifaru,
applied
come
because
on, man.
Kenya
Kifaru,
is not aligned with the
Kifaru. Okay, you'll be honest with yourself. If Kenya applied, you think you joined ahead of us? Be honest with yourself.
Do I think would have joined? Did you say?
If you applied, do you think you would have joined ahead of us? Who do you think they would have still picked? Ethiopia or Kenya?
Honestly, probably Ethiopia, given the fact that they got accepted.
Hazel,
But
stop coping. There's not even probably, bro. It's just, it's obvious, Ethiopia, bro. We are more relevant than you, bro.
here's the thing, right? Look, why would I be worrying about something we never applied for, right? So I'm not even gonna go down that path. We're not Nigeria. At least
Yeah,
Kenya
it's
had
the Nigerians that are pissed off.
exactly.
Yo,
Nigeria applied
yo,
to a group that they weren't even
Nigeria,
qualified.
Algeria, Morocco, it's those countries that applied. Congo. I don't even know why Congo applied, bro. Who the fuck was going to take them?
Yeah, I think Congo
Did
would have been
Congo
only accepted.
applied?
Yes.
Congo.
They
Well,
got rejected.
yeah, of course.
Come on, keep on, bro. Come on, bro. Be
I
honest
was
with yourself.
no, I was thinking they could get into BRICS due to their resource. Not, I know the economy is not
Keep
going good. I
on.
was thinking.
You guys cope too much. It's like when Nigerians keep saying our oil. The Congo government doesn't own any of their resources. You can literally walk into Congo today and take the resources whenever you feel like. That's what every government does. Even Nigeria, when they say our oil, that's not their oil. It's Shell's oil. Like a country, when they say our oil, okay, Saudi Arabia, they can say it's their oil because it's their own national company, Aramco, that does all the drilling, the refining, that stuff, and the selling. So all of that stays in house. Nigeria just sells the rights to the land, and then Shell comes and drills it. That's it. So it's not even their oil. If someone wanted Nigerian oil, you don't make a deal with Nigeria. You go to Shell and make the deal.
Yeah, that's
Man,
the
wait,
sad part.
Abby, that's what's crazy. That means half of that $60 billion euro dollar exchange that Nigeria gets, probably only half of it is Nigerian money.
It's not
The
even
rest
up
of
to
it has
half.
to go
It's not
back
even
to
up to
pay.
half. I spoke to one guy. He explained to me. He said
That's kind of crazy.
Nigeria exactly. He said Nigeria has got no oil. He said Nigeria has just got a place that people come and drill. Then they pay Nigeria whatever they think they can pay Nigeria. Then it's so stupid that Nigeria needs to buy crude oil from subsidies. So the money they give them is not even enough for them to produce, like to supply oil in their country. They need to borrow more money to make the oil in their country cheaper. It was so messed up,
Yo,
the
this guy
whole system.
said storyteller. Kifaru, this is how I know these Africans are dumb as hell. This guy said Nigeria owns part of Nigeria Shell. Nigeria Shell doesn't make any fucking money, you retard.
Wait.
You know what it
Nigeria
is,
owns
Caleb?
part of
It's
Nigeria. Oh
actually,
my goodness.
no, it's a subsidiary of Shell. You know what they do? They don't want to refine anything in Nigeria because that means they'll have to pay the refined oil price, a share of the refined oil price in Nigeria. So crude oil is like $2 a barrel. But then refined oil, petroleum, which is refined crude oil, is around, depending on the market now, it's around 77. But it usually fluctuates. The lowest it goes is 40. The highest it has gone is up to 100, depending on the situation economically. Think about it. Crude oil is $2. Petroleum is between the lowest it can go is 40, and the highest it has been is plus 100.
Oh my
Look at the
goodness.
difference. Nigerian oil, they get the cut of that $2 because none of it is refined in Nigeria. This guy's a retard. He's getting scammed and he thinks he's winning. This is what I mean, bro. These guys are so fucking dumb. They're getting run circles around. You know what Shell does? So they give them the shares of the $2 per barrel of crude oil that they make using
God,
the
that's like
subsidiary of
$1 per barrel.
Nigeria Shell. Yes,
That's what makes
yeah.
$1
So
per
they get
barrel.
it, and then they take that crude oil, they ship it into I think one of the islands near South America, and that's where all of their refineries are. And they refine it there, and then they sell it to the rest of the world. So these guys are idiots, bro. They're getting played, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah,
This guy's bragging about getting.
I think
Keep
they've
out. This guy's
given up.
bragging about. Keep out. This guy's bragging about getting a share of $2, bro. Not even full $2, just a share of $2. You are an idiot.
Probably a 50% share.
Nigeria's not making a lot of money from that. I don't know, but I think they've given up. I think that for somehow the government is secretly working with Dangote. That's what I think.
Yeah, but
Just
on
to
top
be
of that, Kezo, now you know when you guys keep saying, "Oh, why is it that the Arab countries are rich, but Nigeria sells oil and it's dusty and poor?" That's why they're dusty and poor. The Arabs are making all of that $40 to $100. The Nigerians are getting shares, minority shares in $2, bro. That's the difference.
Yeah, the thing that there's just the corruption with people sell oil. Like man, it's it's not. Yeah. As I think
My question is, Kifaru, think about this.
Shell, British Gas,
They've been selling
Exxon.
oil. Kifaru, think about this. They've been selling oil from around at least the mid 70s until from 80s or mid 70s. They only built a refinery now. They only built one refinery until now, and it was a and it was a private person, not even the government. Dangote himself had to build it. That is some dustiness, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know how. No, we don't have some. I think we just have 200 million barrels of oil. I don't know. It's not a big deal in Cameroon. But it's still so. I don't know anything that's the government in Cameroon. I don't trust it, man.
This guy said it's because our refineries don't work. Who's making them not work? Oh, this guy's refineries are not new technology, bro.
Yeah.
What is the reason your refineries don't work? Because you're incompetent, you're corrupt, your government is
Exactly.
incompetent,
Yeah. They just
you can't run anything.
Yeah. You just shut them down because you couldn't manage them. That's just a fact.
You know what it is, Kifaru? They get the money to build the refinery before you realize only 10% of the money for the refinery is still there. The rest
Exactly.
has disappeared somehow.
Yeah.
It's in a
That's
London
what
bag
I was
somewhere.
saying. I was saying if Nigeria can be organized, maybe even 1-7 or South Africa, it would be better. But they have a long way. They're not organized, and it's just so much dustiness. I believe I don't like African countries separating, and Nigeria should be one of that country that should separate into 3 different countries at least. Because they have really big population. Yorubas are almost 53 million. Igbos 30 something. The Wozas are only
Kifaru, that's a bad idea, man. They'll be poorer than they are already now, bro.
But did you not blame someone else? That will be your problem. I don't want to show this is these people. You understand? I don't know, poor. I don't know
Kifaru, come on,
because
Kifaru, be honest with yourself, Kifaru. If they couldn't build a refinery with 200 and something million people, you think they're going to build it when they divide it
no,
into 60
no,
million
no,
each?
no. There might not be a refinery. I mean, they might engage in something else just to make that part of the country more organized.
I'm okay.
You don't need only oil to be rich. There's so many countries in this world that are rich, but it's not because of crude oil. So that's it, man. That's
Okay,
it.
shout out to Peace. Peace, you can call in the show. Click on the link. It's there. It says, "Hey guys, there is a Nigerian listening here, but I'm loving your discussion. This is a reality. No qualms for me. Keep the smart conversation going." Shout out to you. And thank you very much for the support.
Yeah, that's a reality. That's true. I think I think the only person that can help Nigeria is Dangote. And it's not even Nigeria's money,
No,
it's
why you guys,
Dangote's money.
Kifaru, man, stop praising Dangote like he's the second coming of Jesus, bro. The guy is only worth 12 billion. He's not even in the world's 100 richest, bro.
No,
There's
no,
only so
no.
much he can do.
No, I'm talking Nigeria. I'm not talking about his word. I mean, I'm talking
Yes, even in
context we're talking
Nigeria, there's
about.
only so much you can do, Kifaru.
No, but it's
His
not
money can only
refinery.
go
At
so far.
least it's something that he can get. He can, he's gonna feel. Is the influence of Dangote is gonna be felt. You understand? They're gonna see him there. You know, so it's gonna make a massive change. You understand? Nigeria can claim that's our thing. If he can take away share, which is
Kifaru,
not
just,
possible.
okay, Dangote Cement.
Yes.
What, if you had to rank Dangote Cement in Nigeria, do you think it's top five biggest companies in Nigeria
I
in
don't
terms
know.
of
I don't know about
market?
Nigeria, but in West Africa, it's everywhere.
Yes, I'm asking you. Yeah, but it's listed on Nigerian stock market. So all of the small industries that it has, all of the other manufacturing hubs or whatever it does in West Africa, all of it comes back to the Nigerian stock market. So in the
Mhm.
Nigerian stock market, do you think it's top? It's top one. Do you think it's first, second, third, top
I
five?
don't.
Where do
I,
you
I
think it
don't.
is?
I don't. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hang on, Abby. The issue with the African billionaires in general is that these are $5 billionaires. They only trade in commodities that we use. Now, that's fine. I get it. It's a good business deal. But they're not the kinds of people that are going to invest in risky ventures and try to change the status quo of anything. That's a problem. They rather invest in cement,
Like what?
sugar,
Does Africa need
coffee.
risky ventures right now? Like what risky ventures do you want them to?
Okay, that's the point. No, okay, not okay. Okay, you know what? Okay, let me rephrase that. Not just risky ventures, but they were not going to want to risk in things like, let's say, fixing the electricity problem because it requires you resetting the whole infrastructure, right? Investing in that, and they don't even know if they can tax Nigerians high enough to actually pay back the initial cost.
What do you mean? Of course you can. You guys just need to change the way electricity is paid for in Africa, and that way it's okay. So a lot of African countries they still have where you go to the government and you pay every month or something. If you just had the one, like okay, in South Africa and most European countries, it's the one like you buy the card and you fill it in, right? If it was that way, would there
Yeah,
be any
token.
problem?
No. In fact, that's what
Yeah.
Kenya does. They use tokens. So it's a prepaid card or system so that there's no need to ever have situation where
Bro,
people don't pay.
they brought that thing to Cameroon. It was rejected at the parliament, bro, because
No, they
the
also put it now in
politicians don't
Ethiopia,
pay
so it's like that
us.
in Ethiopia too.
Yeah, they
No,
say
it's
no
like that in
more.
Ethiopia as well now.
Huh?
It's also like that in Ethiopia now. Even in
No,
South Africa,
no.
some of the residential places in South Africa, it's only like places like Soweto and so on, where they still haven't installed it. But other places, they have the system. So you pretty much
Yeah.
just fill it in. If you run out of electricity, if it says zero, your electricity runs out. It's over
No,
for you. You
man,
still have you
that
have to pay.
I don't like that system, man. They tried
Why
in
not?
Cameroon, people rejected it.
Why
No,
not?
man.
Why
Why
not,
not? You
Kiparu?
can.
Wait,
You don't want
Kiparu,
to
why
give
not?
up your. Yeah, what's
Look,
going on?
look,
Yeah.
see, look. You. No, I know what you guys mean, Bird. First of all, first get the electricity available all the time before you start doing that thing. You can't
No.
have
Yeah,
load
come
shedding
on.
and people not
Wait,
having.
Kiparu, wait. Stop, bro.
Who said it's not?
How is investment in electricity infrastructure going to be viable if you half you Dusties are not paying for electricity
Exactly.
on a
No,
monthly
if you
basis?
don't pay for
Who's to force you to
electricity,
pay for it on a
if
monthly
if
basis?
Okay,
if you
so
don't
Kifaru,
pay for
Kifaru,
electricity,
let me ask you a
if you,
question.
like in
Yeah, go ahead.
Cameroon, I don't know how it's done in the country. We pay monthly, right? You consume, you send you your bill. If you don't pay, they come and cut off your light.
Bro, why should they come and cut off your light? This system will cut it off for them.
Well,
As
I
soon as
think
it
they
hits
just
zero,
want
it
to
will cut
give.
off.
I know they just want to give people more. I don't know. They want to give you freedom. You don't want to be cooking or doing something and pop. The life just goes off because the money is finished.
Hey,
You need
Kiparu,
to
hold up.
you need
Why are you being dusty? You can.
to top up again, man.
So why don't you look
I,
at how
I
much electricity you can look at? Kiparu, man, stop. You can look at how much electricity you have at the moment, and then you can pay before it
I
gets to
get you
zero.
now, man.
So if
I
it
get
gets
you.
to okay, if it gets to 50, if it gets to 50 or 100, okay, now you have to go and fill up, re up before it gets to zero. So
Well,
you have like maybe
I don't
3 or 4 days before it hits zero. So you have to re
is
up.
is paying electricity monthly. What's the problem with that?
I tell you why.
What's
Because
the
African
problem?
won't pay for it. So the company is running in deficit, foreign exchange as well. So if they have to buy new fuel, because all okay. So Kifara, let me give you examples, right? South Africa right now, one of the reasons why they are having load shedding, where they're having planned blackouts, more or less, right? It's because they don't have enough fuel to actually fuel their the electricity production, and they can't just use coal because they signed up to all these deals with European countries about reducing carbon emissions. So even their coal plants, they're having to shut them down or barely use them. So the issue is when you're paying monthly, a lot of Africans are going to be on default, right? You even know Kifaro, like African universities, they barely pay people on time. They're going to be running on months and months of deficit. So what that means, a company has got to fill that deficit in real time. Now, if they're doing that in real time, you look at the foreign exchange currency rates as well. They're going to cover all of that. So they're going to be charging someone money that they already have looked at the current foreign exchange. Then in like 5 months later, when they finally pay, and they're still going to be in debt even after that 5 months, that's when they're going to be dealing with it. So a lot of countries like Kenya said, hey, no, you know what? We can just charge them tokens. So right now in Kenya, and also not just that, Kifaro, if you notice urbanization. So if you look at a country like Accra,
I get
one
what you
more last
mean
point,
now.
one last point. Yeah, urbanization. You look at a country like Kenya, right? You look at Nairobi. A lot of these high-rise apartments have students and or people that are moving in and out, meaning that's not their houses. It's not linked to their actual land, meaning they're not owners. So imagine if you have a lot of people that can easily leave the house, a lot of people are just going to be moving from house to house and leaving a lot of debt because it's not linked to their name. So it's much
Uh,
easier. It's a token system.
I've just asked
Yeah.
my guy. He told me it's an option that if you want it, you can take it from the, but nobody's doing it.
No,
Say if
for people that have like permanent housing, it's a land, it's a house. Yeah, they're willing to.
yeah, yeah, but it's good because now in my country people still use gas methane bottles. Do you do that in Kenya? There's no centralized gas system.
Nah.
For cooking.
No, in Africa there's no centralized gas system, bro. Let's just be honest.
Do you
Even
have
in
it?
Europe, there's only
Do you have
centralized.
it? Do you have it in Ethiopia?
No, there's no centralized gas system anywhere in Africa. You don't need it.
Oh,
The only reason
oh,
there's a centralized gas system in Europe is because you guys freeze half the time in winter. So you actually need it.
yeah, so what I'm saying, if they can manage that bottle, then they can still do it because with that, when you cook and you finish it, you go buy a new one.
Kifaru, why do you want people to? Okay, this is what I don't understand. So you want people to use electricity when they don't have the money to pay for electricity. The token
Man,
forces you to pay for it when you have it.
you know you're gonna be paranoid. I'm not gonna lie. Look,
Kifaru, bro, come on, man.
listen.
Okay, Kifaru, wait. Kifaru, let me just show you how the token works.
I
Okay, right now
understand.
in my kitchen. Wait, Kifaru, let me show you. In my kitchen, there's the counter. So you fill it in, it's like a digit number. Like, it's the
Yes,
shape of, how when you pay with the card.
I understand.
Okay.
In UK, yeah, they have pay
No,
as
just
you
look at
go.
it. What do you mean you're going to be paranoid? If you wake up every morning and you look at how much you have left, you can estimate, okay,
Yeah,
over the
no,
course of a day, you probably use $20.
I
You
don't
probably
want to
use
be
20
doing
rands
that,
worth of
bro.
electricity.
I don't want to be doing that, man.
Kifaru,
Everybody,
bro, stop being dusty, man.
it's like you're
None of the
driving
reasons
and
you
you're looking at your fuel gauge
are you
and you
paranoid every time you get in your car? Wait, Kenzo, this is the best thing. Are you paranoid every time you get in your car? Because
okay.
you're looking at the
If I'm going
petrol
on a
gauge.
long trip, and I see my fuel thing and I say you look at the next stop and they say it's 12 miles and you're not sure to hit 12 miles before you run out of gas, you start you begin to get paranoid. I'm not gonna lie. You understand?
Then why don't you fuel up? Why don't you refill your gas tank before you left anyway?
Okay, so you need to start reconditioning your lifestyle now differently. So that's
Yes,
the
you
point.
need to start planning your life better. Why, you see how crazy this is? He wants the government to plan for him instead of him planning for himself. Why should
No,
government officials
I
start
get it,
chasing you
man.
around? Why should government officials come to your house to cut the line
It's
because you
good.
haven't
It's
paid for
good.
the last
Yeah,
3 months?
I get the point. It's good, like to manage and make people more careful how they. Yeah, so maybe but I don't know. It's good, you know. Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, no, shout out. We got a new panelist. What's good, Dr. Marie? Antoinette. What's good, sis?
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, I was just wondering, can we look into using uranium on the continent for electricity in the same way that Germany and France currently do? Because that is one of the reasons that people are so interested in Niger. South Africa is
Hmm.
actually the tenth largest producer of uranium, and it would help to solve the woes of electricity in South Africa and eliminate load shedding. So it's something we can look into. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
just
yeah, go
just
ahead.
speaking of that, I think Kenya has got a nuclear plant. What are you doing, guys? I think you need to investigate what they're actually doing, or if it's just a research facility or whatever. The thing with uranium, I think everyone is skeptical. For the most part, people are scared. Can Africa manage a disaster? You understand? So
What disaster?
a
And there's a
nuclear
uranium
disaster.
plant in South Africa.
I think what he's trying to say is, Kifaru is saying he doesn't himself trust African countries to
Yeah,
not
man.
allow a change to happen, and that's one of the
As long
issues
as
here.
it's not in the city I live in.
Like,
Don't
Yeah,
mind.
that's
don't
the
worry, you
problem.
see what
Just
I
from
mean,
my
about
land with
people.
it. Yeah, that's
Keizo, you know the
exactly.
problem. Okay, Keizo, you know the problem with a nuclear power plant is. What if there's like a 8.5 earthquake where you live, though?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah, true.
yeah,
No, no, but
yeah.
Abby, hang on. But to build a nuclear power plant, you do have to go through all the right building materials and like
So it takes,
seismic engineering.
they say it takes like
So
30 years.
Keizo, yes, Keizo. We know you have to go through all that stuff, but prevent. There's nothing your nuclear power plant is going to do against an
Yeah.
8.5 earthquake, bro.
Or even man-made
Not,
error. Even man-made error.
oh,
Okay.
remember Japan when they got hit by that tsunami? What did all the safety measures do for that nuclear power plant? Nothing, bro. There's just certain things that you cannot plan for. If it happens, you're doomed.
That would be a best solution, but I'm so scared and
Bro, it
skeptical.
has to be built in a desert somewhere. If we build a nuclear power plant,
That's
it
a
has to
good.
be.
Abby, let me ask
Yeah,
you a question.
that is
Abby,
a
would you
good
trust
idea, Abby. That's
Somalia
a
with a
good
nuclear power plant?
idea.
Well, hang
What?
on, Abby, would you trust Somalia with a nuclear power plant?
No, we'll put it in the Ogaden region, bro.
It's
That's what
good.
I'm
I
trying to
think that's
say.
a good
Right?
idea, Abby. You brought something up the desert. I think like most countries should agree it should not be one country. It should be actual a committee
Like Kezo, okay,
African
you see,
oriented
Tifaru,
can go to the desert.
You
That's
see
a
in
good
South
idea.
Africa's case, for example, if they decided to build a nuclear power plant, they need to build it in like northern Cape or that
Oh,
region. You know, the desert side and the eastern side.
Namibia.
In
Namibia
the
has got some massive desert
no,
on it.
yeah, or in the northern Cape, because even if something happens, only the boys live there, so it doesn't matter. It's a
Yeah,
desert and only a few
yeah,
boys live there.
you have actually made a good idea. Desert, but I don't know if it's so hot for uranium. Anyway, it produces heat, so it's not going to be really hot more than what it doesn't produce. So I think the desert should be the best spot in Africa, and they can make a like really massive nuclear plant that can supply as much countries as they can. You know, they can put it on the grid, and yeah, I think the desert would be the best place. That's a good idea.
Yeah, true. But on top of that, if you want to start building it, you can't just build one. You need to build like, okay, you start planning today, and then you need like two or three projects, nuclear power plant projects to be going up now. So because it usually takes like between 8 to 10 years for any nuclear power plant from start to finish. In Africa, it will probably take 15 years, if we're being honest. So considering all of that, you probably need to build three, four, or five. So you start one this year, maybe 2 years down the line, you start the next one, and so on and so forth. So by the time the 15th year comes for the first one, you open the first one. 2 years down the line, you open the second one. 3 years down something like that. So you just keep opening them. That's how France ended up with like the most nuclear power plants in all of Europe.
Yeah, Kaiser, I'm really curious. I think you can look at the Kenyan one and call some numbers there and ask them some questions. We may get some more information. I'm really curious what they're doing. You
Yeah,
understand?
Kenya is one of those interesting places. They have refineries for oil. They have some nuclear program and all that stuff. But no one really knows what these places are doing, right?
Wait, how many barrels of crude oil does the refinery refine per year in Kenya?
I don't know, but I think it's making quite a couple $1 billion. But we don't have oil, so that's what I'm wondering. Like, okay,
Yeah, I think that
So
doctor,
they refine
let's
it and
not
then they
just
export it.
let's not. I think like people in that field, I think they should tell us what the possibility. Can they manage it? Because I just know nuclear as someone that can read and just understand. But the science and managing, I've seen it. I know it's not really complex. But the biggest problem I see when people talk about nuclear is how to manage a disaster or even how to dispose of the uranium. It's a huge problem that not really a huge problem. A really complex part of that nuclear thing. And Africa, as we know, people don't really understand health, basic health and safety, and we don't have that
Kifaru, let me
knowledge.
ask you
So,
this. Kifaru, let me ask you this. You see the Ethiopian dam. Have you ever
yeah,
seen where they decided to build it?
yeah,
It's right on the border between. It's right
yes,
on the border.
Egypt
There's a Benchago region in Ethiopia. It's on the border between Ethiopia and Sudan. So just in case anything happens to the
in
dam,
Sudan.
the water was going to flow and flood Sudan, not us.
Oh my God! Did you have to pay Sudan to put it there?
No, it's on our side. It's on our
Oh,
side of the border. It's like 20 kilometers away from the Sudan border. But just in
okay.
case, like let's say the
give you
dam,
context,
something
right,
happens to the
Kifaru?
dam.
Yeah, Kifaru. The Nile actually flows downstream into Egypt from East Africa.
Yes, yes. People fear is the opposite way. I know that. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
so
from.
basically, he's saying that Sudan is actually on the receiving end of the flooding. So they're probably very unlikely to do something against it because they're the ones who are going to suffer from those problems.
But
Exactly.
if
You know, there was another
I
place.
think
Hazel, you know when
maybe
they measure where to build a dam on along a river, you have to go for the place that has the most, that will provide you with the most like energy, right? Because it has to be at a slope to where the waves from the water can hit
yes,
the turbine.
yes, yeah.
So there was actually another place that they calculated will generate more electricity, but they decided they're not going to build it. They're going to build it on the border. So that if they decide to do anything to the dam, it will flood Sudan, not us.
Understand. Yeah. Yeah, we had a little problem with Nigeria because there were some dams that flooded in Cameroon and went into to Nigeria and created some flood and things like that. They were complaining, but it was not even a massive thing. So I can imagine if something like that happened, it would be a disaster. I think managing disasters in Africa, luckily we don't have anything. Just little floods where people can even manage. So I don't know if we
Hazel,
could
by the way,
do nuclear. It would be a good idea, but are we ready? I
yeah,
think I
true.
need to ask the nuclear scientist to tell me about. I don't know.
Hazel, I'm not going to lie though. I don't think East Africa should mess around with nuclear power plants, bro. We live on a tectonic plate. Like, we live on a tectonic plate fault line, bro. Have you noticed, Hazel?
Oh yeah, true. That might not be the best
Yeah,
investment for us.
I think Ike, you are what was it called? You're an engineer. You can tell us if Africa is ready for.
No, on another thing, Hazel, have you seen the recent? If you show Al Jazeera stuff, will your channel get struck? Is that
No,
copyright
no,
stuff?
no, no. It's free.
Nigeria usually doesn't copyright
I,
stuff.
I, I,
Oh,
as
because I saw some retailers saying that Ethiopia Egypt dam negotiations have fallen
failed
apart
again.
again, and I was yeah, and I'm like, of course it has fallen apart, bro. The Ethiopians are to troll, bro. They're not the same shit, bro. They just there to waste time and to look like to the international community they care for. They're trying to solve things. But I wanted to show you some. There was like a debate they had on Al Jazeera with some Egyptian lady, some Ethiopian guy, and then there was some Sudanese dude. And the Sudanese and Egyptian lady, bro, the Ethiopian told them, "Look, we do not need your permission to fill the dam."
Mhm.
Those two were about to lose their minds. The Egyptian lady was about to curse them out on live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, Doctor, what's her name? Doctor sorry,
Antoinette, Maria Antoinette.
Antoinette. Yes, Africa has got so much capacity for hydroelectricity that can be honest, and help so much African countries. I don't think
Yeah.
that the nuclear thing is something that we badly need, or maybe for countries along the Sahel that they don't really have some good rivers, but the river Niger itself. It's got so many what force that they say if you can actually use it, it can produce so much energy that so many countries can take advantage of, and it's clean and free. It's good. That nuclear thing, man. Abe said you don't want it beside his country. I want it like right somewhere in the desert, in the middle of nowhere.
we live on a tectonic fault line, bro.
Yeah.
Our countries are very like vulnerable to earthquakes and stuff. I'm not just saying that because
Okay. And South Africa as well, or
no, South Africa's okay.
yeah.
South Africa is the only country with like a proper nuclear power plant. To be honest with you, Hazel's one is a miniature one. Hazel's one is there to
I think it's just on paper and for research purposes. They just put it there.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really South Africa I had in mind because the load shedding is becoming, a grave
Yeah.
inconvenience.
And it's gonna get worse as most Africans, their standard of life of living increase because they start demanding more electronics, start demanding more electricity, and that's how it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Yeah, they actually need to think about it because when you look at the forecast, they said African population by 2050 is gonna be maybe quadruple if they continue having the same birth rate. And how will you manage all that? So they need to have alternative means of electricity. With nuclear, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm a layperson. I'm scared, but if they can say they can do it, why not?
Miss H, since you've seen that same interview, can you please drop the link since you're also a mod on the private chat if you can?
Sorry, the link for the data?
No, for the Al Jazeera debate, I wanted to show Hazel how mad the Egyptian lady got. But on the other thing, Hazel, these guys were talking about the UAE helping Niger. Bro, you guys should read up on. I was reading an article a few days ago on. It was talking about the UAE's soft empire across the Sahel. Bro, the UAE has RSF is being helped by the UAE right now in the civil war in Sudan. Chad is already being under the UAE umbrella when it comes to economics. Even Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed's closest ally is the UAE. The UAE is pretty much taking over that Sahel region and even Horn of Africa quickly, bro. So you guys are worrying about Russia, France, and stuff. The UAE is also coming in and becoming super influential within Africa.
Yeah, we are dusty, but we are just like the beaches of everyone. Even India, man. India is coming there as well, bro.
No, the Indians have no power in Africa, bro. When I say the UAE has influence, bro, the UAE pretty much controls Chad, Central African Republic. All of these places are being held together by the UAE. Even RSF, the only reason they have been fighting this long is because of the UAE. Libya, the civil war that's happening in Libya. And if you haven't realized that the fight is winning. In Sudan, RSF is winning. So the UAE is winning everywhere.
Yeah, when we're divided, it's easy for people to just take advantage, man. Just split people and pay one side. And
hey, Kifaru, you called me over here, but let me just interject real quick.
Yeah, come on, yeah, you are, yeah. Explain to us.
Shout out to the lady asking a question.
Hello, Mr. Ike. Hello.
How's it going? So regarding nuclear, when it comes to the concerns that was raised by Abby regarding building it, all the stuff you brought up is really a cost question, right? As you can imagine, if you have enough resources, you can build things that can resist, a lot, right? Such that what it'll take to destroy it will be so catastrophic that you will have bigger worries to worry about than the thing being destroyed, right? So that is one aspect, especially. So I wanna just emphasize that particular intuition because people talk about earthquakes and they make it seem as though it's a cost question, really, right? So it's not like an earthquake can destroy anything, right? It's a question of, well, how often does this particular earthquake that can destroy anything occur, and how much money do you want to spend on this piece of infrastructure to be able to withstand such an earthquake? In other words, like, hey, I'm building something, I'm going to build it for 100-year earthquake or a 100-year flood. That's the term that they typically use, right? Basically saying that a flood of magnitude that such that it happens once every 100 years. But as you can assume, or as you understand, the further out on the bell curve something goes, like an extreme flood or an extreme earthquake, it's going to have less occurrence, right? So you have to make these economic calculations, and you're making these calculations with real dollars. You can't just, it's not like the God from the sky is just going to give you all the money, right? So these are the considerations when it comes to building things. It's not because the materials nor the engineering cannot be such that it's strong, right? I hope that makes sense. But anyways, that's one aspect. It might be economically prohibitive. However, there are many. Yes, I think probably it's Kifar. Yes, there you go. So thank you very much. Now, on the aspect of improvement in the technology itself, right? I don't know, Kaiser, if you can find any of, I mean, the most normie, basic ones would be like Bill Gates talking about the latest technology nuclear wise, where the whole issue of the waste becomes more of a non-starter and less scary, because basically what we're seeing is we're looking at footage of Chernobyl and stuff like that from 30, 40, 50 years ago, and then saying no more. We don't do this in any other aspect of our life. You don't look at a car exploding in the past or a plane crash and be like, oh no, we're not doing that anymore. Right? I mean, look, it's because of the fear. That's the big factor there. Things have improved technology-wise such that the nuclear waste issue is not as big a problem. You can look at the latest in that regard. And when it comes to earthquakes and such, you can build structures. I specialize in building structures in seismically active zones. Amazon is building data centers over here on the faults in California, right? If you design it properly, it will not be a problem. But here's the main issue. When it comes to Africa, it's going to be the question of actually running of these facilities. In other words, Kifara brought up the point about basic health and safety, meaning following the procedures. Let's say you brought us a multinational corporation, Kaiserian Empire came and they built it. Okay, fine. But the running of this stuff and the regular maintenance of all the things that need to be done, I know for sure those things are going to get swept under the rug and kicked away and no longer practiced in about 6 months, right? The regular things that you have, this valve here needs to be replaced every 5 months, it says. This dusty African realizes that, you know what? I've got, it can go 9 months. You know what? I pushed it to 12 months, all these things, and you compound it in all these different corners, right? Rather than shut down the facility for 3 hours to do the regular 6-month thing, they're like, it doesn't really matter. At some point, no one is going to remember how to do that anymore. Before you know, the whole freaking thing explodes, and something that was not possible, it was not supposed to happen, right? Based on its design, is going to happen. So the main concern for me will be the actual running as opposed to the building or the possibility of it being, shall we say, safe.
Okay, I get it. So, Ike, what do you think? What is it going to take for you to actually put your hands down and say, we can do it?
When it comes to infrastructure and stuff like this is all governmental kind of so, for example, if you take over in the United States, where you have massive gridlock with regards to building this kind of stuff, the only individuals that can really try to lobby and push things in particular directions are people like Bill Gates, right? So in Africa, though, I would want to check to see which governments are most amenable to this type of idea. Maybe new and fresh ideas to begin with. Maybe Niger, for example. Maybe they're like, F it. We got a lot of desert land. Maybe we want to build this stuff and maybe we want to sell power to Nigeria. Maybe they're amenable to it. But basically what I'm saying is this is obviously a massive infrastructure expenditure. It's not a private thing. Private people would have to be contracted, but the government needs to be the one that initiates. If you find as a private concern, let's say, that you're interested because you want these contracts there because you're going to make money from this thing, you have to go to places where the governments are particularly amenable to fresh ideas. They're not so anti-nuclear or whatever the hell it may be, and it makes sense for them, right? That's kind of how I would look at it.
Right. Thanks for that professional insight.
Yes.
So
Thank you, Mr. Ike. Thank you.
all right, doctor, you got your question. I say I don't know, but yeah, we still got the concern of Africans' mentality. So you could still understand that. We don't follow basic orders. And someone they may say no smoke. I saw this ad, no smoking, and the person who was putting the ads had a cigarette on his hand. Can you imagine? You know,
The person was what?
the person who was nailing the ads on the wall had a cigarette on his hand, like no smoking. Yeah, it was like this can be true. I don't know if it was a made up thing or was actually true. No, he was putting the no smoking signs and he had some cigarette on his hand. I said, God damn, Africans. Yeah, man. So I don't know.
Wait,
For
what's
now,
the
let's just stick with hydro dam and see how we can get them the best of them. You know how we can utilize them to the full potential. And
I think I could live with that as long as South Africa can
yeah, I think South Africa. I
Dr.
don't
Marie?
know.
What are the two flags on your profile pic?
the one on the left is the Cuban flag and the one on the right is the Russian flag.
Yo, am I colorblind? I could see the Russian one, but I couldn't see the Cuban one.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, are you in Cuba?
Not yet, but I hope to return. Yeah.
How are things in Cuba, man? People say you guys are starving. You know, if you listen to the Americans, you men are starving. What's going on over there?
Where? What part of the world?
In Cuba.
I said if you listen to America, like CNN and stuff, the Cubans are starving
Are
in
you
it.
from
So I'm
Cuba?
just asking you.
The thing is, we now have a beginning business of people ordering food stuff online and having it delivered to their homes in Cuba. So that is what is keeping the country going for now.
What's the food
So
situation though in general?
In general, it is challenging. Maybe there is some level of propaganda that paints a picture that is less favorable than it actually is, but things definitely are challenging.
I want to ask you a question. Have you been in any African country?
Not yet. No, I
Okay,
haven't.
so from your perception of what you say, from what you hear, do you think African country, let's say what African country do you think is doing better than Kenya? Forget about like the big ones. Is there some African countries that you think are doing better than Cuba? Like which one?
No, I think South Africa and Kenya and Ethiopia and
Oh, come on, man. She said they only started food delivery services now. Come on, man.
I get
What are you
it.
asking?
Yes.
and Zimbabwe
And Zimbabwe. Okay.
Botswana and Angola.
You don't need to say that when Abby is on the Doctor, I'm not being disrespectful, but from the Doctor, I don't wait for 1 second. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but from the picture you painted, I feel like the only African countries that are worse than Cuba right now is Somalia and Burundi.
I told you, don't say things like that with Abby on the panel. You know.
Yo, I was trying to keep it in for so long. But she's not from Cuba, so she's not going to be offended. You're from Trinidad, right, Doctor?
Yes.
But I like Cuba. I was thinking Cuba has stand time from it's succeeded from America sanction, but the way what I'm hearing from you now is
No,
like
they were good. Kifaru. Okay, my dad did he was part of the kids that used to go to Cuba from Ethiopia, back when Cuba and Ethiopia were both Soviet countries. They used to be good back when the Soviet Union existed. It's only now because once the Soviet Union fell, they lost their only trading partner, so they pretty much tanked afterwards. Cuba pre and post Soviet Union is not the same. I mean, during and post Soviet Union.
But I really like Cuba. They have that freedom. When you think about Cuba, you think like power, fight, freedom. That symbolism. I don't know, but
they do have the best doctors, though. You
Is
know
it the
they
best, or
rent
you
their
just have
doctors.
so many doctors? Is it the best, or you just have so many?
I think it's just, yeah, I think relative, they have the cheapest doctors. So a lot of like countries, they rent cheaper doctors, bro.
Yeah.
So you
When I
invite them
was
for
in
like a year.
when I was in Ukraine, do you know how much they pay a qualified doctor a
What?
month? $150. I swear, I swear to God.
That's not how much I make on YouTube, man. That's less than $200 a month.
Yeah, $150. The doctor was just like, "Yeah, I've got
Bro,
nothing to do. Let me just go to university and become a doctor." It's just like that.
bro, South Africa is so much better.
Wait, is
Favor,
that why?
South
Is
Africa
that
is
why
so much
O'Shea?
better.
Does that happen? Is that why O'Shea left Poland and went back to Uganda after he
Bro,
got his
studying
degree?
medicine in Ukraine is $800 a year. Who can't afford that? There's so many Nigerians, Africans studying medicine in Ukraine. I think Poland is 1,200. So it's cheap. And they don't care about your qualification. You can do some bloody history and go to Ukraine and become a medical doctor. They don't give a damn.
Okay, so we need to start asking our doctors where they got their degree from now on.
Exactly, exactly.
If he says Eastern Europe, bro, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what, I'm not sick anymore.
yeah,
I'm good.
yeah, yeah. They do. I know many people that come there. You will pass. Pay your money, you're gonna pass. They don't care. You know. So they call you a vracha. It's
What's Russia?
doctor.
Oh shit, I forgot Kifaru knows Russian, right? You can speak Russian, right?
Yes, okay.
Hey, Kifaru, they should have invited you to the African Russian summit, bro. You
Yeah,
could
I
have
was
been a
listening to.
translator.
I listened to it. I was listening to Putin. You know, though they was translating, but I could still understand. I've lost a little bit of.
Kifaru, have you ever thought about applying for Wagner in Africa, bro? You could be a special
Oh,
asset.
that's a good idea, man. But what Putin did to that guy, I'm scared now. I don't know what's going on in Wagner. Everyone in Wagner now is a spy. I don't think anyone trusts anyone in that Wagner group at this moment. I'm gonna Wagner group. No one.
Jesus.
Everyone now is a spy. I'm not gonna lie. No one trusts no
Kifaru,
one anymore.
they're gonna hit your Toyota truck while you're
Yeah,
driving in Africa, bro.
that's it. Yeah,
You know those Toyota pickups that all of these African rebels like to drive, bro.
yeah. They will just put some mines there and just explode all of you when you spawn in Nigeria.
Yeah,
You know
Kifaru will
what's
probably.
funny? Joe, remember the Kenyan guy Joe? He actually lives in Russia. That guy can't say a word of Russian, bro. He can't speak Russian properly.
Yeah, but I think, yeah. Okay, when we went, you had the option. You could learn in English. That was the worst thing. You could learn in Russian. The teachers that teach you English don't understand English. They speak English like, I don't know. Hey, how are you? Good day. They're teaching you English. It's the teaching you understand. So most of the things they just give you books. You just go read and they just pass you. You know nothing. You understand? But Joe, I think Joe teaches. I think Joe's a teacher, maybe an English teacher. So he just learned. But me, we had to go through. They call the preparatory faculty. It's called Подготовительный fakultet. You understand? So I had to learn Russian for from from A B C, like a chai. You know. So we
Mm.
learned the
How
alphabet.
long did it
Like
take you?
it took us 6 months, but it's intensive. So I could write and read Russia, like writing that crazy thing. You know, I could write
Wait,
it.
so in 6 months, wait, let me get this straight. In 6 months, you are able to
Yes,
speak and write and everything.
yes. I'm gonna tell you the trick,
Yo.
and don't be mad at me. My teacher told me I was speaking in Russian. Безумно изучаем русский язык с языком, which means you learn the Russian language with your tongue. He brought me a girlfriend, and that girl helped me speak Russian. She couldn't understand one English. One English. I remember
Yo,
when.
they brought you from up here.
Yes, they bought me the real Russian language teacher. I'm not gonna lie. In the few weeks, both of us were working with dictionaries. You understand? Anyway, English to Russian dictionary. I said, what is this? What it was so funny. But with time, you
Wait,
know,
so they gave you, was it only you or did each and every one of you have someone, a Russian speaking partner that you,
well,
it's like a pen pal, right?
I don't know about the others, but that woman brought that purposely because I don't know, I just had vibe with her, and she brought Olia. She said she's going to teach you how to speak because she could speak English, and Olia taught me Russian in no time, you know. But it's easier to learn because no one in that country speaks some other language, so that's the only thing you need to go by.
Yeah, so everywhere you go, you have to learn it, right?
Yes,
My
before you
dad
go
was
to the
also saying the
market.
same thing about, my dad was also saying the same thing about when they went to Cuba. They also had to learn Spanish within like 8 months. And he was like, it's not even what the lessons that you do in class that help you learn. It's when you go outside and you have to speak to people in Spanish because they can't speak anything else. He says that actually helps you learn faster.
Yeah, yeah, because you want to go to the supermarket, you need to know what you're going to ask. From there, you know those words. The next day, you don't know, like so. But it made us better because we learned actual the language, like a professional language. So we knew the grammar, you know, the right tenses. So it was better. So when they teach you towards the end, they start teaching you now the professional. If you're going to do chemistry, they start introducing our chemistry after 6 months. Light chemistries. That's what they did. So people who actually studied in Russian are better. You understand? They are
Mm.
actually better than those that studied in English. So, but I had to leave, man. I did not finish. There was so much racism, you know. So
Mm. Mm.
I had to leave.
Wait, where were you living?
I live first in a city called Poltava. I live in
Oh,
Luhansk.
were you in Ukraine or Russia? You
No,
were in Ukraine, right?
Ukraine.
Okay.
I went to Lugansk, this city where they have this Russian secrets.
Oh shit, that's the war right now, right?
Yes, because that
Yes.
part was Russian part, so they spoke Russian, but the rest of Ukraine was speaking Ukrainian. So my friends that were in Kharkiv, they were studying Ukrainian, but we were studying Russian. It was like that. So this part
Mm.
now that I was is completely war zone. You know, everything
It's
is
Somalia right now.
yeah, yeah, Somalia, the same, you know. So then I went to Kiev. I was in Kiev like for 6 months. Kiev is beautiful. I don't know how it looks like now, but Kiev was a really beautiful city, you know. So then the racism was too hard, man.
Have you been
So
to Crimea?
no. Um n- you mean in Moscow? I've been to St. Petersburg.
Oh, okay.
You
So you
mean
could,
Crimea?
there was,
You mean Crimea? That yeah, of
yeah,
course. We go
Crimea.
to do it. Yeah, we go there. It's a
Yeah, because
very popular.
according to the map, it's close to Luhansk, right? It's on the same
Yes,
eastern
of
region.
course. We
So
go there summer holidays. The Black Sea is like full
yeah,
of
because
people.
it's like a tourist destination, right?
Yes. The Black Sea is yeah. Everyone you see all kind of foreigners over there. Yeah, we go there all the time. It's very close to to Lugansk and Donetsk. Yeah, that was good.
Were
When
they
you go there,
skinheads when you were there?
eh?
When back then when you were there, what they used to be skinheads, like the babushkas, bro.
Skinheads.
Yeah, the skinheads. You don't know what a
Of
skinhead is?
course, of course. I know two people personally that were killed by skinhead.
Blacks.
Yes, Africans. Yeah, man.
Shit. Oh, so
So
your
one.
girlfriend was she? Bro, how? So your teacher gave you a girlfriend to so that you can talk to her on a daily basis with.
Yes. Yeah. But you don't want to go out with her at night. You're gonna die. Yeah, you don't want to.
Kifaru,
You
you know
don't
what you
want to
do?
do that.
Kifaru,
Yeah,
you know what you do? You tell her take 15 steps, walk ahead of me, 15 steps ahead of me. So
yeah.
no one
You
can.
know, sometimes that it was a little bit easier because we're living in a hostel. You know, they call it a общежитие. So it's just school campus. So you could go out when you're going out. You get in the bus or in the tram. There were trams. So you go in a group. You're safe. You can't go out. You know, some jealous people would just, you know, all these people, drunk people, can't have girlfriend. They see you black person, they start throwing racist slant, and before you know, they want to kill you. So you don't want to be by yourself. You, if they see you alone, okay, they come with a mob. But just three of you, you know, they still have this mentality that Africans are very strong. You can't fight them, you know. So if they see 3, 4 of you, they're scared. You understand?
Mm.
Yeah. So they want to make sure that
What did you study, by the way? You studied
Luhansk.
chemistry. No, what did you study? If you don't mind me asking.
I did economics.
Oh, okay. And now,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
that's what
Where
I
did you finish
started.
though?
I did not finish, but I studied back in Italy. I did what they call Scienza della Comunicazione, communication science. That was in where did I finish in Italy? That was a long time ago. That was 2010, 2011.
You know, for some reason, I thought you had like an engineering degree, or
No,
you
no,
did
no,
computer
no,
science.
no, no. Okay, that's I studied that one. Then I did a lot of IT certification. I have Cisco AWS. That's what I work with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did Cisco CCNA, Computer Network Engineering. I worked with that. Then I did AWS. It was not big by then. What I did communication science, bro. Was doing speech therapy, man, for children. You know, when you just go, you just do something that because you have scholarship. In Italy, they give you scholarship for almost everything. As long as you have the required grades, they keep on giving the scholarship. You understand?
Mm.
So I was just confused, but because I tried the time, I wanted to do engineering in Russia. I didn't understand that, but the Russian was so difficult for me that time. The school, I could not
Yeah, to
understand
be
what.
honest with you, I can't imagine doing like a subject in a language I don't even understand.
Yeah, but after that, it becomes so easy. You know, it becomes like normal language to your ears. You know, you could just
But
sit
I'm
and
not
listen.
gonna lie though. You know, the only reason I can't even speak like Zulu or Siswati, even though I can understand, like when I hear it, I understand what they say. The only reason I can't speak it is because these people speak English. So
Yes,
you don't get to
exactly,
you don't get to
exactly,
practice.
exactly.
Like even when they
If I
speak to
come to
you in their
Ethiopia,
language, you can speak to them in English.
exactly. If I come to Ethiopia, where I go, those people don't speak English. Man, I will
Exactly.
learn
So
whatever
you'll be
language.
forced to learn.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the reason why you could learn Russian and Italian, because Italian, but with Italy, before you go to university, you need to do what they call CELI in your country. It's like ours for Italian. They call it CELI, Certificazione della Conoscenza della Lingua Italiana. Okay, so you need to learn that. You need to pass it before you have admission into the university. If you can pass it in your own country, you can get admission. So you need that certification. Now you apply. So when you're going straight studying Italian. It's not they're not asking you, do you know this word? They're just teaching you and going. If you don't understand, so the first month
Yeah.
you're
To
gonna
go
be
to Italy, you
struggling.
still even
Hmm?
to get a working visa in Italy, you need to learn. You need to pass the test for the language, right?
No, 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 no. By then, no, no. You just no, no, no. Working visa, no, I don't think so. You don't have to. You just need to have an employment. There was something though. There was one time after we came, the European Union told Italy that they need workers because Italians don't want to work. You know them. That's just how they are. And it's okay. If you don't want to work, you need working population. I think they said something. So Italy had to pass a law that they call it. They call it Fluzzo. Okay, it was a visa that it
Mm.
was mostly from I don't know, mostly African countries to come to Italy as a worker, and so many people come like was a legal thing, not like tomato worker or those tomato people or strawberry people are coming from Lampedusa.
They're
Those are
mostly illegal workers, right?
yes, those are the illegal ones. Anyone that
Those
came
are
from
the Francis and Ngannou, the ones who got on their dinky boats.
exactly come from Malta, from Spain, yeah, those are the ones that are going to do that strawberry. But the ones that come like flu, so they work like in normal factory. You can work in a mechanic factory or car, like supermarket, things like that. So a lot of people came, but they don't need it. They don't need it. But for student, you
Where
need
are you
that.
living in Italy? What
Bologna,
city were you in?
Bologna,
That's
Bologna.
south, right? Is that south or north?
No, not, not, no, but no one goes to the
Oh, so
south.
you were in the richer side.
Yeah, of course, of course. Who's going to the? No one is going to those south. What if you see black people in the south? That people come from the boat that were rescued by some Italian coast guard. Those are the ones that goes to the south. Everyone goes to the north, like normal
That is where the
migration.
tomato fields are too.
Yes,
Because I'm
yeah,
working at tomato plantations.
all the tomato seeds are in the south, all of them. Oh,
Yeah,
tomatoes,
yeah, yeah, you're right.
strawberry, grapes, all those kind of things are in the south. Yes, yes. Cheap labor. They
Yo,
they
you know, I
too
was watching.
they too
Kifaru,
migrate
have
to
you
the
ever been to
north.
Sicily?
The South Italians migrate to the north.
Have you ever been to Sicily, Kifaru? Just to visit.
No, I've been to Napoli, I've been to Sardinia, but I've never been to Sicilia.
The
I've been
reason
to.
why I wanted to ask you is I was watching some travel vlogger who went to Sicily, and their culture is so much similar to like North Africans, the Arabs in North Africa.
That's how they call them. They call them the North Italians call the South Italians that they are from North Africa. They call them Terone.
Yo, I was so shocked. I was looking
Yeah,
at them. Some
because
of them are
some
even
of them
Muslims. Okay, that might not be true in most of like southern Italy, but in Sicily, which is a place of its own. So
exactly,
some of them
exactly.
are even Muslims. Their
Yeah,
markets
if
look
you
like
go, if
North African markets, everything.
you go there, you will see a lot of Arabic, that European Arabic influence. You will see it in that Mediterranean. I don't even know it's Arabic, but it's Mediterranean. Yeah, it's like similar. Even sometimes you see an Italian, you think he's someone from uh from Libya. You understand? They have that kind of people in the south of Italy. A lot, a lot, a lot. Those beautiful Italians that people say Italians are beautiful, are
It's
straight.
mostly
Are the
southerners.
south,
Yeah,
are
you're
the
right.
south ones. Yeah, because they are the mix of like that blend. Sometimes they really look
They
like
have
from
that
different.
they have that olive skin look, don't they?
Yes, 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 yes. That like mix like the North Italians are just like normal Europeans. There's not much
The
difference.
North Europeans look like Germans. Even
Exactly,
ancestrally, they
exactly.
have closer
Mm.
ties with southern Germany and so on, don't they?
But what they do is like they take care of their weight. Italians, they are so like a child from 5 years old. They will tell you, "I can't eat at this time because I'll be fat." It's their culture. Seeing a fat Italian is hard. When I left Italy, I came to this country. Oh my God, I didn't believe my eyes. I saw what they call that mushroom shaped women. You know what, like mushroom, man. You don't know if it's the back or it's the front. You see a woman, you don't know if. Am I looking the back? Am I looking the front?
Disclaimer: we do not agree with Kifaro's statement on this channel.
No, yeah, man. Kaizo, you know what I'm saying, man. Come on, you've been here. So is it the front or the back I'm looking at? You confused? Yeah, it's your culture. They eat really healthy. I think the whole time I was in Italy, I think I ate McDonald's once. Most of the time it's pizza, and it's pizza. It's like a whole meal. You go and sit. You give you a plate, a spoon, a fork, and they have that culture with wine. Yeah, pizza is just something you buy and eat on the road. You understand that kind of fast food. So they have that. I like their culture. They have value for life. But people
No,
say
I'm
they're
not gonna
lazy.
lie. There's also an Italian restaurant here, like when I go to Addis, and even here in South Africa, the best restaurants from like other countries are the Italian ones, bro. But it takes too long, man. You go there, I swear you will not leave. It will take you 2 hours before you leave. These guys, their concept of time is similar to Africans, bro.
Yeah, yeah. When they go out to eat, it's a whole thing. They'll stay there, but they have what they call like trattoria. If you
Their bread and
understand,
stuff is nice. Like their starter is the best, though.
yeah.
I'm saying their starters and everything is the best. The butter,
Yes, yes,
everything.
yes.
Like they
Yeah,
take.
because they take time to do their things. Like I like Italians, they have value for everything. They have that lives. If you go to Italy, you see a barber, you might think he's a chemist. The way he's neat, he's got it's just your style. You understand? It's considered a profession. It's not just something you do. Even like a shoemaker, they they just have their style. It's the no. They like to present. In Italy, if you're going to look for a job, they write it on their job application. You must be good looking. Some jobs they put it there. They don't give a damn. They say bella
So,
presenza. You must be
so
good
you're saying
looking.
Havila will be unemployed in Italy?
No, 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 no. Like mostly for girls. better presenter. You can't just be some mushroom coming to look for a job. No. They put a better presenter. They emphasize. They don't want dusties. You don't want to come to someone's shop and you see some Michelin tire greeting you that, hey, hello, you know that Michelin
Kingo, Kingo, you know the Michelin man, right? Dr. Marie, by the way, Kifaru is the misogynist here. He's just a bad influence on us. We apologize.
No, I know you like that kind of thing. That's why you're happy. You.
I'm surprised you use the same insult because I used to call. We used to call black people Michelin man.
Italians, they have like the quality of life in Italy. I think it's okay. They know how to manage. They know how to feed, relax, how to look neat. You understand? But I see some. I don't want to say any bad thing about being like I don't fatphobic, but I see some ladies in this country. They go to Italy, they have no clothes. I swear to God. If you go
which country? Where you right now?
UK.
Oh, you're in Britain. I forgot. My bad.
Yeah. It's difficult for you to find extra